Welcome everybody. Give me just a couple of minutes here. I'm using my headphones today, so pardon the sound quality a little bit if it's clipping or if it's a little bit loud. I'm just kind of trying to get this out because people have been kind of jonesing for a little bit of something to go on here. So hold on just a second. I'll be right with you. Hang tight for just a second here, guys. I got somebody on the phone here. I'll be right with you in just a second. Well, how do you do, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Red Baron. I am from the unfairadvantage.chat, and I do work with the folks over at fibbycharts.com. So if you guys want to know a little bit more, please avail yourself to the chart that you're looking at here. If you guys would like to subscribe, if you're new on live stream and kind of wondering where I've been lately since you subscribed and then I went ghost on you, I'm a busy boy. When you do something well, everybody wants your attention. So not only that, but it's a beautiful, beautiful November afternoon out here, and I'm just kind of getting ready for the snow to fall and the hell to start breaking loose, and so I'm getting everything screwed down and locked down and ready for that. So every once in a while you got to go outside, and yes, there is such a thing as outside. You don't have to live your life in front of the charts. I was noticing some of the guys in the Discord are like, yeah, there's such a thing as outside. I'm like, yes, I've been there. It's the promised land. Trust me, it's real. I was talking to one of my mods last night, and I said, it's been like damn near a year since I've been outside, looked up at the stars, for Christ's sake, man. What kind of life is this? So once in a while I got to kind of go out and do something. So thank you very much for taking the time to be with me. I'm going to go ahead and go through a few things because markets are moving, folks. It's getting to be go time here. It's kind of looking like it. So we're going to go over a few things that I've done. So let me go ahead and do a little housekeeping here real quick. So if you guys that are new on live streaming, you'd like to join us, you'd like to use my automated intelligence charts that we have, and of course, obviously, if you're wondering where I am most of the time, because I'm not public, I am on VIP, I am in the Discords over at the unfairadvantage.chat. You can find the links for that in the description to this video, and if you'd like to subscribe to these charts, you can simply just go to fibicharts.com, just right here, just click on subscribe, and you can just pick out whatever package you want. I do, if you guys are really wanting access to me, I do private VIP videos a lot more than I do public. If you really want to get in on that and kind of get a lot more of my input, you should at least be at the gold level, because that gives you pretty much most of the stuff that I take care of. But if you guys are serious traders, you're working with over 10 grand and stuff like that, you might seriously want to consider being at platinum, because that's where everybody gravitates towards eventually anyway. So just to let you know where we're at with that. Okay, so but I am using Platinum Pro, which is our ultimate trader platform. And that one gives you all the bells and whistles and all the time clocks and stuff like that. Plus it gives you many more charts. There's like over 500 charts and counting on this right now. So, all right, so let's look at Big Daddy Bitcoin and see what the hell's been going on here. So, just like I told you, I love to start a sentence like that. So I told you that this thing was going to blast, it was going to retap, and it was going to go right there within that realm, and we were going to do that, and we were going to be inside the channel. So nothing shocking going on here, guys. So I pretty much told you guys that I expected it was going to tap out right here. I was talking, by you guys, I mean VIP. I've been talking to VIP a lot about this and posting on this chart. This is exactly where I expect it to be. Now, are we going to go further? So let's talk about this. So if you guys understand my methodologies or understand my notations on charts, I'm not suggesting we're going to blast here, although it is in the cards in the future, not the too distant future. It's in the TA would suggest we can go this high. I'm not by any means suggesting we're going to be doing this right away. We'll get there. We probably will. As insane as it sounds, we will be getting there probably at some juncture in time. But we've got a lot of work to do before we get there. We still have an Anubis call right here that we haven't crested at. So do not be surprised. Do not be surprised that if we're going to be going up, we're going to ping off of just for no reason, just kind of 3/4 of the way up this TA call here. And just why did we turn around? Because Anubis said that that's going to be where it's going to happen. So Anubis is, for you guys that are new on live stream, Anubis is one of my AI programs. I have two of them. One's called ISIS and one's called Anubis. Anubis is our long distance tracker that compares performance, and ISIS is our level monitor, and that she's the one that puts down these bronze lines that are not Fibonacci lines. These are AI lines. The true Fibonacci lines are the green lines that you see every once in a while dispersed through here. So you're not looking at Fibonacci, you're looking at something remotely, completely different from Fibonacci. It's unique to us and us alone. So, and that's what we call the unfair advantage, part of the system we lovingly refer to as the magic chicken bones, right, guys? All right, guys, so it looks like we got pretty much the usual suspects have filed into the chat. How you guys doing? I'm sorry I've been away. God almighty, a busy. So just got back from last week, just got back from the birthday party in Georgia, and thank you so much for everybody showing out. I mean, just the support for what I do is absolutely stunning. I mean, you guys are just, you're coming in droves, and it's just like, it really does my heart proud to know you guys are really listening to what I'm telling you, and you're profiting from it, and lives are changing and people are stepping up, and the best is yet to come, guys. I mean, you ain't seen nothing yet. Now, I know a lot of you guys are in Shiba, and you're freaking out. You go, oh God, it's going down, it's going down. That's what it's supposed to do. So we'll talk about that in detail here in a little bit. We'll also talk about Vegas. Now Vegas is coming up. I'm doing this live stream just to kind of get you guys settled, just to put a little something out there for content, so you guys are not having massive withdrawals, because after all, this is cryptotherapy, and this is what keeps us screwed together. And so I'm going to just kind of give you my thoughts on what's going to happen for the next week or so. And of course, obviously, I'll update the whole charts and stuff. But I am headed out with Red Bear and with Logical Domain, and possibly a few others. One of our new mods, Kent, who's also a diamond, is going to be joining us as well. And also the fabulous Veronica Jane is going to be joining us also. Now, we had a little bit of that's our in-house psychic, you could say, our DTM psychic. And she's going to be joining us. The plans were originally that she's going to be with us on Friday, and of course, obviously, open day on Saturday. Saturday officially is our meetup. However, she's a 911 operator in Los Angeles. You can about imagine what kind of a job that is in this day and age. So she wasn't able to get the time to be able to stay over for Saturday, which is rather disappointing. So if you guys do want to meet her, we're going to kind of shift things around a little bit. Officially, it was going to be like open meeting on Saturday, because I knew that everybody had to be in there, and you all got jobs and lives and whatnot. So if you do want to meet Veronica Jane, Friday is going to be your best bet to do that. Now, it was going to be a VIP thing only, but we'll just go ahead and change that up. So if you're there, you're there. Cool, we'll let you in. We're not going to be a stickler about that, because this is going to be kind of a small meeting and stuff. So if you guys do want some one-on-one time with her, you can do that. You know, bring a couple bucks. You know, obviously she's a working woman. She wants to get paid for her skill set, and it's well worth the money. But what we're going to do is just kind of do this in like a free form thing. So if you want a little, what she said, I'll give you a direct quote from her. So I was saying, so how do you want to do this? Do you just want to do like room meetings? Do you want to do just like an open circle type thing? She goes, well, you know, we could probably get like a hotel room where we can kind of like a little quieter area for one-on-one, and we'll make that happen. She goes, then we can really uncork then we can really get weird. So whatever that means. I'm pretty sure I know what it means, but so you'll see her at her absolute skilled best. And so you guys that want to meet Veronica Jane, you want to get some time. Of course, obviously your VIP guys, if you want to spend some time with her, you can do that. Friday would be the best time to do that. We will be around. I think we're going to get there probably late Thursday, so it's going to be basically moderators, and a few probably early VIP guys that are with us Thursday. I think we're just going to pretty much just kind of do what we're going to do, and then Saturday is going to be the official get together. So it's going to basically be about 2.5 days in Vegas. So make sure you get a part of that, be a part of that, and join us. We'd love to meet you. I'd certainly love to shake your hand and welcome you to the group and kind of hear your success stories and stuff like that. All right, so let's get back to Bitcoin. So anyway, what we're looking at here is this is not surprising. So we're not fully committed. We have passed an all-time high. So we are basically at an all-time high here, but we're hanging around that 50% move. So totally expected. In fact, I'm kind of glad that it's working out that way. So you know, I think the likelihood that I'm going to kind of negate this because I'm really not expecting a pullback, but I am going to kind of leave that there just as a possibility. Not expecting any kind of hellacious crash for this. So the question is it's going to be a flip-flop back and forth between, are we going to be jumping back and forth between Bitcoin and alts? And the answer is yes. So Bitcoin's doing its thing. When you start to see a substantial pullback inside of this little go, no-go zone band right here, you're going to know that when we fall back down into this, it's time that the money's being pulled out of this and taken and thrown into the alt. So that's the way the game is played. You play the pony that's the fastest, you take your profits, and you bet on a new horse. I mean, investing is not that hard. Basically, you ride the winner till the winner's looking like it's starting to run out of steam. You trim off profits, and then you go find a new seed somewhere else, and you let that grow, and then you trim off the profit, and you wash, rinse, and repeat. Sometimes people make this a lot harder than it has to be. You have to have a good system, but you also have to kind of understand the basics of how to invest. Should I take profit? Should I take profit? I'm like, well, that's kind of why we're in this, isn't it? If you see profit, man, take it. You're not going to get a chance to take it at the top. No, even with the best system, you're not going to know when the top is because manipulation does exist. And so, I'm in profit 500%. Should I take it? God Almighty, yes. You know what I mean? Sometimes the most obvious questions are most obvious answers to the stupidest questions. And it's like, but it might go higher, probably. But won't you feel stupid if it turns on you and drives straight back into the pit of hell and you left 500% on the table? Seen it happen more than once. So when you're seeing the faster, this is not a ridiculous run up. This is rather methodical. And again, we're looking at a one-day chart here. But we are going to take a look at a few charts. I'm going to refer back to this conversation and tell you that when you see these ridiculous runs, trim that profit, baby. Take it. Don't second guess, because the faster she goes up, the harder she's going to come down. So when you're in profit on these fast runs, don't second guess yourself, because that's how you're going to get clipped, and you're going to lose an awful lot of easy money. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So let's kind of keep that in the back of our mind here, that eventually time is going to come where we're going to run out of steam on this, and I'm going to go ahead and put this as a general marker for you guys that are in VIP, or no, actually not in VIP. Anyone who's subscribed to the charts will have Bitcoin. The one-day charts are available for everybody that's in Platinum Pro and up, and I believe for Gold and up, as a matter of fact. So any of you guys that have Gold and up can look at this. I'll notate this. That's about where I truly expect. I'm just going to redline that. It's about where I truly expect to probably see a really hard stall. And that's about 70,500 for you guys that are on phones watching this. By the way, I have railed against this, and you guys keep doing it, but I can't stop you. But again, you guys that are trading off of phones are really trying to run a two-legged race with one leg. Phone trading is absolute financial suicide. Don't do it. I understand to be able to be able to look and check, you know, when you're out running around and stuff like that. But you guys that exclusively trade off of phones, you're really doing yourself a massive disservice. You need to have a big large screen to look at things and really take the bigger picture in, and you just cannot get the bigger picture on a phone. Even I used to have a Samsung Mega. It's one of the biggest phones you could possibly get, and you know, it still was not enough to do the job. So be aware of that for you guys that are making a lifestyle out of trading off the phone and using accessing these charts off the phone. It's not really the way I would prefer you to see you guys do that. All right. So Ethereum was looking good there last time I checked in. And by the way, I'm really coming in on this dry because I have not looked at any of these charts. So my initial reactions are going to be very raw, and those are usually the best anyway. So I was looking, last I looked at this was roughly about 12 hours ago, and you know, she was looking good. So where are we going? Are we going back down? No, we pinged right off of the expected area here. So ISIS has moved the target down a little bit, but the last was it's pinging off of where it should be. So are we going to see a downturn? This is kind of a second tier forerunner, and I said this is probably as high as we're going to go. And again, you can see for this overall call, we're right through 50% of where it should be. So my general feeling is I think we're at a stall point with Ethereum. We're back into this channel. So Ethereum, don't think that this is going to run in the short term. In the short term, by that I mean in the next 48 hours, 100 hours, or whatever. I don't think that this is going to go much higher than where we're at, because we've already we have a rounded top on this, which is usually an indicator that, you know, the faith is breaking lower and lower. I mean, every single time they test it lower and lower and lower and lower, and it's just the consensus is dropping off. So rounded tops like that basically mean that, you know, the party's over and there's nothing left but the people that haven't gotten the word yet, you know. So don't be surprised to see this thing start bouncing around in this general area. And where it goes from there probably will revive and then pick up later on. But for the week, don't expect this thing to probably do much. Now, that is telling about what's happening for the alts, because this is not an alt, it's a blue chip, but you know, it does have, it's kind of the go between Bitcoin and alts. It's kind of the gateway or the conduit between those two, so it's somewhat telling. But overall, we'll just leave it at this. So I expect that this thing to kind of basically ping pong probably in this general area for, let's just say, till next week or around about Sunday, and that's good. So we'll basically leave it at that. Now, alts, as we go, later on it will go and it will hit that orange line. By the way, I meant to finish that off. So Litecoin, I saw in the Discord, I never watched Litecoin. I am not a fanboy of Litecoin, never have been, but you know, again, this is a sleeper, guys. So you guys that understand my methodology and my weird little sayings and stuff like that, that is a sleeper. Sleepers wake up running. And by God, you know, am I ever wrong? And so I haven't been watching it, but had I been looking at this, I can clearly tell you it's a sleeper. Why? Because we always hiccup in the middle of the night before we roll over and start running. It happens every single time. It's very, very easy to spot a sleeper. There's three characteristics to a sleeper, or there's three basic things that you look for on a sleeper. You want to see about roughly 20 days, and don't carve this in any kind of stone or make monuments to this, because the rules are meant to be broken. But I mean, look at this. How could you not call that a sleeper? It's just sideways, sideways, sideways. Slightly ascending, that's good. Now, I haven't really formed any kind of thought. We've seen some that broke out of a mild upward trend and then took off running. That's great. That's great. I would be probably on my first impression of that would be like, it's been going up for so long, they're going to fake it down. But you know, we're at the bottom of the market heading up, and so, you know, great, whatever. But the point I'm making here is this. You know, when you see these long runs between certain, say, a couple of AI lines where it's just not doing anything, and I'm going to show you one that I called over a month ago. Told you it was coming. Told you it was coming. And oh, baby, was I right. We'll talk about that here in just a second. But anyway, what you usually see is this. I don't really know. I'm not going to bullshit you and tell you I know what causes this. But I've seen it with my pattern recognition ability. I've just seen this so many times that it's just a thing. You always see it, and it usually happens in about the middle. You get a hiccup, and a hiccup could be like this. This is kind of a double hiccup. This is not normal, but you do see this, and it goes along for a while, and then just up she goes. So no surprise here that this happened. So you guys that are in Litecoin, I've had a few of you guys ask me, should I take profit on Litecoin? Well, you know, there is a day in the future where I see Litecoin at $1,200. Again, you're going to be hanging for a while before you get there. But you know, if you're at this juncture in the game, if you're a Litecoin fan, you either are or you aren't. I am not. You know, it's just not, you know, I had a chance to buy way back when, to kind of tell shitty stories. I had a chance to buy, Coinbase kind of screwed me. I had a chance to buy Litecoin literally at the bottom at 90 when it went down, and they tied up my deposit for about a week, and the goddamn thing just ran. And I think it ran to like 150 like right after. I can't remember the whole, but you know, I was pissed. And basically I never had looked back at Litecoin, and it would never have been a long-term hold for me anyway. But you know, we've all had our experiences with Litecoin in some juncture. But you know, it has its days. But again, I don't consider it to be a superstar. You know, it's third in line. I think it's like rated number 3. You know, eventually this thing is going to lose its third place position. It's going to be overtaken by several other better performers or whatever are going to rise. ADA, for one of them, is going to rise, and this thing is going to lose its place, you know, in the top 3. You know, so is what it is. It'll do fine over time, but I just don't pay attention to it. I put it on there because some of you guys want to know, but you know, I just saw it was running, so I just thought I'd mention it. All right, so let's go. I'm going to wait on XRP here a little bit. So this I do want to mention. Couple things. A lot to talk about here. So buckle up. I'm going to be yammering for a little while. So you guys want to hear a lot of the breakdown. I'm going to go through a lot of these things and give you, because it's been so long. I'm going to give you my impressions on these, and then we're basically going to kind of close up shop while I'm in Vegas until like the following. I want to give you a date on that, by the way. I will be back on the 15th, Monday the 15th. So, you know, after this broadcast, unless something else happens, I got tomorrow, but I want to make sure I get everything buckled up around the house before I take off. I've got, I'm dealing with a very valued person that worked for me for 5 years that passed away from the stab. And we just got word that he passed away of basically had a stroke. And this is Jose. He's one of our beloved programmers. As part of the what we do here, and so we've lost him. So this is, you know, people are starting to drop from that. I won't sidetrack the chart discussion, but so it's taken up a little of my time. So I want to be able to take care of that family and make sure they're all squared away before I take off, because they're hurting, guys. They're hurting. So anyway, let's take a look at Litecoin, or let's take a look at this. So this bad boy, she's running. Now we're seeing this formation. Now we're seeing this formation with a couple of things. I do remember seeing this same formation with ADA, and we'll take a look at that. What does this mean? Well, it's nice to see it running. It's not the game plan we're hoping for. Shiba was supposed to go, and then this was supposed to go. That's what they told me, and we're waiting on that. So this does not mean that this is a run, because you know, when in doubt, back out. You know, we're not screaming past anything. It's just nice to see it come up fast. But don't look at this as the be all say all. It's like, oh, it's happening. You know, it's a good run. Don't get me wrong. You know, 16% is always a good run. But don't be taken and thinking that this is, you know, the big one, because it's not, because we're running right through the middle of the half channel right here. Clearly have settled back down. So would you take profits? Well, I have positions in XLM, and I'm, you know, as I'm saying this, I'm kind of looking at this myself. So intuition, let's kick that in a little bit. I'm looking at like, so what is this? What am I seeing here? Is this the start of a formation? Is this the start of a run? Is it, you know, can we glean anything from this? Is this a cup and handle? It's not, absolutely not a cup and handle, but what it could be, and I'm speaking hypothetically, what it could be here is this. Could be what we call an Adam and an Eve. So now, how you're going to know is if we come down here and we hit this area right here, it's pretty clear we'll go the rest of the way. So you're looking for a sharp drop, check. Now you're looking for a rounded bottom, check. that will be a bullish thing. That will follow the later timeline that we're expected by the time I return. So all of this nonsense here will play out while I'm gone in Vegas, and I will check in with you guys. But what we're looking at here could very well be an Adam and Eve. Now, an Adam and Eve, just to go bring everybody up to speed here, was very much like a cup and handle. Its velocity, which is the depth difference, works exactly like a cup and handle and like an M formation if you know how to read those. So the depth of this would, well, let's just take it down here. The depth of this, excuse me, the depth of this could be, let's call it about that amount. So if we do that and we stack it on top of that, that would put you, voila, right to the top of the channel. So we could very well possibly be seeing about 45 cents XLM by the middle of next week, if things work the way they want. So, but if we have our old friend, the 50% move, that's going to put you right through right here, which is going to put you roughly in about the 42 to 42.5 or 0.425 range. Still not too bad. My gut feeling on this is they're starting, the shenanigans are back. I do want to make note of that. So we had a run of about a month where things are just working. You know, God, I love it when things do what they're supposed to do. But, you know, here we go again. Here we go again. They're back. You know, when things should go a certain distance according to TA, they'll run it halfway, or they'll run it the opposite. We've had a couple that if velocity is this distance, that's something, this is a term that only I use. You won't find anyone else referring to it that way. But velocity, and that's exactly what it is, how far something should run. That's defined as velocity. I'm an engineer, so I have to use those terms. But velocity is how far something should run. So the velocity is just not playing out. Sometimes they'll take the velocity and they'll go, well, you think this is going up here? Let's just put it down here and screw your program up. And all you guys that are long in this are getting dogged. So it happens. It very well happens. And by the way, that would put us back down here on the baseline AI. So don't rule it out. I just want you guys to be aware of all moves on the chessboard because it can happen. But at this point in time, they're not being really violent with the shenanigans. They're just throwing a few curves in. So I'm watching that. You guys in VIP are hearing my thoughts on that as I see it. But I have seen 3 or 4 instances that went opposite. So that's usually the sign that they've opened up a new can of foolishness, or they've got out some old tools, or they've rotated the tools of manipulation a little bit. Let's just say it that way. But right now, 50% is still working very, very well. Basically, when distance or velocity is supposed to be like this, we go to about 50%, and then we go and we take it back. So we're always watching 50% as being the final. If we can go past that, great. But always take 50% as gospel. And if you're in doubt, take that damn profit, because it comes and goes so fast. You know, you can always get another turn at that. But you know, if you've got a fairly sure methodology for gleaning some sort of profit, use it. Use it. Don't treat your trades like every time you step up, you've got to knock one over the fence, because that psychology will get you wrecked faster than anything, because you end up staying in trades longer than you should. And you just kind of always end up trading on hope, not on not being aware of what's really going on. And of course, obviously, you're not looking at the bigger picture on the charts and stuff like that. So enough preaching on that. Let's just simply say that the 50% will put us on the half channel, and we do have just cause to believe. And of course, the 50% will probably put us somewhere in the neighborhood of the dual AI line. So my call would likely be here, just right in that general area. So just be aware of that. And I'll just leave that sketch up there. We'll see if I'm right. So I'm going to leave it green, but just understand that that's theory, which should be purple. I just don't want to put purple on the chart for right now. All right, so I want to talk about this one. Attention Kmart shoppers, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Man, if you haven't bought any of this, what are you doing? What are you doing? They just keep holding it down. You got 1, 2, 3, 4. It just will not go up. This isn't going up yet. It's not. It's not. And I firmly believe it's going to go down further. But I wouldn't dissuade any of you from sweeping some side cash or a little extra money into, I don't give financial advice, never do that, obviously. But at 9.5 cents. This is a banker coin. This is an ISO coin. This is future financial gearing. There's everything about this is going to wake up. And you're going, oh shit! If only I would have listened to Barron. Well, you're listening to me, so do something about it. If you guys want to know a little bit more about this, we have a member of our group that I did a crypto chat with. Go back through the history and look. Fantastic information this gentleman brought to us about concerning XDC. I mean, if you don't understand what this is, go spend some time and listen. Hey, don't Wanda. Go do some time and listen to this crypto chat. Just look it up in the description or in the history archives of this channel and listen to this, and you will come away going, oh damn, I got to get some of this. Because at 9.5 cents, are you kidding me? How would you, even at current prices, how would you love to be buying XRP right about now at 9.5 cents? So an XRP is going to do far more, and XDC is going to do far more. So, I always like to kind of give everybody, whether you're subscribed or whether you're not, I'd like to let everybody have a chance at this. So this is kind of why I make these comments. But if you want to know more about, what's going, you should obviously subscribe to the charts. And I'm always updating these things and telling you. But what I'm saying is, highly likely, guys, that we're going to see this thing fall right down here to the theoretical line, which is a 50% of the TA line. So we could very well go down into the 8s. But again, let's not split hairs. I mean, if when in doubt, get your purse out. You know what I'm saying? All right, so Theta is one, and I've long told you guys that Theta tends to kind of front run the market. What Theta does, and then about a week later, everything else does it too. And so we're still seeing an upward trend. I have been waiting for kind of a breakdown. Kind of basically, here's the way I look at this: is I'm looking at Theta, and it's not a hard and fast rule, but it's just one of many things that I use to kind of keep an eye on what I think everything else is going to do. You could almost look at Theta to kind of be the contrarian to the alts, or the front runner to the alts. So if we're looking at, let's pick 3 coins. If I'm wanting to know what average Joe coin is doing, I'm going to be shitcoin or small coin or small cap growth coin. I'm going to be looking at Theta, and I'm going to be looking at Bitcoin first. So Bitcoin, as I said at the top of the show, Bitcoin's done its run, it's pulling back. So what say you, Theta? If Theta starts running up, then I should expect Theta's going to do its thing. Theta's going to back off, and within the week, you're going to start to see, Joe Lunchbucket Coin is going to start doing something too. That's not a hard and fast rule, but it's been more often than not. So keep a look at Theta. So what I'm watching for is what I do not want to see. I do not want to see this capitulate, go below this line, and then drop down into this box. But if it does pull back, it'll probably likely bounce off the top of that. So what we don't want to see from a all altcoin standpoint is anything that falls down into the bottom part of this yellow box. I would not be too dejected if we were to kind of rebound off this and pick up. But generally speaking, we're looking at a trend that is largely still up. So all's good, all's good. So right about there is about as low as I think we would probably go on any kind of whatever. But I would like to be back up into this channel, so that's a bit optimistic. But as long as we stay kind of generally speaking right in that area right there, I'm cool with that for now. I'd rather kind of trend up yet sideways than do anything else at this point in time. And as long as we're looking at that, we can look at T-Field too. So T-Field, gone are the days when you can look at one and understand what's going on with the other. I only exclusively look at this as like a swing trade kind of type of coin. Just in case you guys want any kind of targets, should I be buying this? I'm going to have to upgrade my saying to you guys. I generally don't get involved in swing trades with T-Field below 25 cents. I'm just moving this over while I'm talking. I generally don't get involved with 25-cent T-Field or anything above 25 cents because we've just been in that range. I'm waiting for T-Field $1, T-Field $1.25, and so I want to kind of make sure that when I make a move that my iceberg is more above me than below me. However, the iceberg is beginning to melt and float upwards to kind of stick with that explanation. So meaning is the bottom of the iceberg is not sub 25 cents anymore. The whole market is moving up, so we have to kind of move that base up a little bit. So just instinctually, I would tell you that probably anywhere inside of that yellow box there at the bottom of the screen is probably a good investment area. By my thoughts, not financial advice, but if we were to say, for example, fall down to the top of this, I would buy it. if we were to fall in it, I would buy the shit out of it, because basically this thing is you can kind of see where we're at here. Let me kind of make a case for this. So our general move here, or let me get my chunk out here. All right, so our bottom before we started our ascension up here. So where is 50%? Right there. So say, for example, we hit this and kind of bounce a little bit, it's likely we'll go back up. And I'm just spitting theory here. But generally speaking, right in this range right here would be about as low as I would expect Theta on a bad hair day to go. But if it did go down here, I would be buying buckets of this, because it wouldn't be very long before it would bounce back up. Because I view kind of 30 to 33 cents, and if you're blessed enough to hit that dual AI line, then even more so. But anything, right? Generally speaking, anything within there, you're probably pretty safe. But to play it ultimately safe, you'd like to at least see it in the yellow box. So just for clarity's sake, and let me show you what you can glean from that on returns. Fast returns, by the way. Hold on just a second. So from the top of that box back to recent all-time high is a 22% return, over a 22% return. So, and look how fast that happens. I mean, it's not like you have to sit on this for weeks or months. So T-Field, you're looking for those opportunities, and we get them. You see, it goes, drops down, bounces right back up, and then some, drops down, bounces right back up, and then some. So God love you, T-Field. I mean, this is the easiest money in the game for flipping. This is the most stable, predictable, and I always have to be careful using that term easy money, but let me put you this way. If you bought T-Field stupidly up here at the top, and a few of you did, wait it out, because this position right here will be this position, eventually in the future. You'll see much more of this going onward and upward. So just understand that it's really hard to get hurt on T-Field if you can win the war between your ears, and just wait it out. But generally speaking, if you buy it on a dip, and we've heard that overall sentiment expressed, buy the dip. How do you know what the dip is? Well, the dip is something, but it's always different to every single crypto. But more or less, what I'm telling you is this: if we fall down below this general line right here in any way, and we tag that spot right there, or God willing, that spot right there, anything within that box right there is perfectly permissible to buy and hold. And I'm not going to promise you, because I don't know. I lost the keys to the castle and control here a long time ago. not that I ever had it, but statistically, let's just say it this way: statistically, a drop down here won't hold ground for very long, and it'll be right back. So we're just going to kind of wander our way down the charts a little bit. So VeChain, I told you guys, this is, I think it was like last public live stream I did. I get my VIP private live streams and my public live streams confused. But I did tell one of y'all, or some of y'all, that you best be jumping. You best be jumping, because we were last I really looked, I believe we were kind of down in this range right here. So since that time, we've seen about a 20%, 21%. So, and that doesn't surprise me at all. 17 cent VeChain. It's still, again, like T-Field, it's still a good deal. Not as good as it was back here, mind you. But again, by the way, here was what it was. I actually told you what was going to happen right here. I said I expected that this was probably going to go sideways and then go up, and that's exactly what it did. It took a little bit longer, but when it did hit, you can see it went up and it leveled off right at the AI line, right at Anubis predictions. So, and then bang up, and then again right back down to the same line that was predicted. So, is that a floor? Probably could be. Probably very well could be. It might be gathering steam for another run up. So, should you buy it? We don't chase balloons here, so that's up to you. Just sometimes I have to kind of go back and repeat myself an awful lot, but some people don't listen, so I have to repeat myself. And some of you guys are new, so sometimes it bears repeating for the guys that are just coming in. Never chase something that is already pumped. Certain recipe for disaster. I mean, that's FOMO in its finest. Is fear of missing out, is chasing something that's already pumping. So this system allows for you guys, and what we do at FibiCharts here or what we do at the Unfair Advantage on the chat is we look for those that have not pumped yet. So once they're pumping, that's yesterday's news. That's trying to make money tomorrow based on yesterday's financial report. We don't do that. So you have to go back, and if I'm looking at this to kind of put a cap on that thought, I'm looking at this and I am telling you that I do believe this will go up, but I'm also telling you that, look at this, from when I told you about this, we've already had a run of as much as 27%. So what are you expecting to happen from this point in time? Are you expecting another 27%? I'm not. We might very well see another 5-10%, you know, because it's trending upward. You can very clearly see that, but it could very well break back down too. It could go lower because it is kind of establishing. So here's what I would tell you with regard to this. I'm going to give you the positive and I'm going to give you the negative. Let me see if I can find. So if we pull back, we very well will pull back to that green line and probably wick down into that area. You can see that because we have support and resistance right there. We have basically support right there. So this at, let's just call it 0.15916 if you want to say. That's your next buying opportunity on a pullback. We are kind of leveling off that way a little bit. If we have a bad hair day here, we might fall to that dual AI line. That's almost certainty. You can see that's our first resistance right there. So basically 16, let's just call that 16.5, might logically be your first buying opportunity. If you want to shallow buy, and then we might continue up from there. You can kind of see, if you were to channel that, you can kind of see that is between the rails a little bit. So 16.5, not a bad thing. But the one part that I want to say with this is you've got, yes, this will grow, but the big boost, the fast boost, the serious run up is done for now. Yes, it will slowly but surely go to the next move and the next move and the next move and the next move, but that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to build fast profit right now to take that profit, spread it around, and go to the next fast profit and the next fast profit. So the faster you can turn your money, the better. So sometimes, as I've been saying lately, sometimes you have to leave these behind because, yeah, it's going to go up. But, you know, there's a thing called lost opportunity, because how bad would this piss you off to, you know, go all in on this? Go, yeah, it's going to go up, and it will. No, I haven't talked about Shiba yet. Shiba, I'm keeping you on the hook here. So, but you do mention Shiba. So, you know, how bad would it piss you off right now to put your money in VeChain, because I'm telling you it's going to go up, and it is, and then you watch Shiba finally turn and do, you know, 500, 600, and you're like, damn it, I should have been in on that. That's the whole point of this, is you got to find the ones that are statistically beat down, buy those, and then wait your turn in line. You know, I mean, these things do have a pecking order, so to speak. You know, we're seeing them pop all over. So now I'm ground this to a fine pulp. So my point is basically with this, yes, if you're holding it, keep holding. You know, rock on. But if you're looking for something new to jump in on, I'm simply telling you that this is not going to be the best, fastest yield that you're going to get. So I'm not trash talking, you know, or saying anything or suggesting anything bad about this. I'm just telling you it's not the ride. If you're looking for the fastest rocket to the moon, this ain't it. That's basically the way I'll leave it. I haven't checked in with the free call. So you guys that are familiar with this, you know, many moons ago, I gave this to you guys at $3, and I said, listen, I want everybody to do well in crypto. So I made this a public call, and I maintained it every once in a while. I gave this away as a free call to everybody within the sound of my voice that wanted to, you know, try something, was too cheap or too broke or whatever, you know, just don't believe me or whatever. Try me, see if I'm wrong. See if I'm wrong. And I told you guys that this was going to, by the end of the year, when this was back about $3, I told you OMG is going to go to $20 to $25 this year. Now look at it, $16. Well, look where it hit already. Boom, I was right, baby. My first prediction, right there. Right there. I already hit the low end of my target, and I told you, and this was free. So if you have, and this was, I don't know, probably 6 months ago, if not that. If you guys have any doubts as to the strength of this system and how good it is, that right there is a testimony. Done for public record, it's been documented publicly. So, all right, so as far as should you be buying more of this, it's definitely going to go above 25. But again, like VeChain, if you guys are from way back when in this, then ride the ride, because this ride is by far not over. Once we get above 25, I'll start talking about future prices. I just want to show you this year. So, and by the way, 25 is extremely conservative for where I actually see it going. But I want to give away the whole enchilada just a taste. All right, XYO. Let's talk some XYO. Whew, man, oh man. So here you go. Veronica Jane has talked about this. I've talked about this. I brought you guys this long, way back in here. See, this is a sleeper. Sleeping. And when they wake up, they're not kidding. They take off. Veronica Jane has mentioned that she got a vision of this thing being just batshit crazy. we're definitely in that category. Now, what for the week? Tough call, but I'll just tell you, just generally speaking, where I feel on this. I don't think this party is over yet. I kind of like the way the chart's looking. It's got a logical bend to it. It doesn't look too whacked out. Like I'll go back and rehash something I've talked about a trillion times. Matic did something where it ran up, it came all the way back down. Ran up 90%, came all the way back down. And I trash talked this till hell wouldn't have it. And people hated my guts, but I was right. I told them, listen, I'm not a fan. Matic, I'm not a fan. This is bullshit. It doesn't, this is not how things are supposed to work. And I called it and I stuck to my guns, and I was right. And now I am a fan of Matic because the shenanigans are over. But when I see them, I'm going to call them. I'm not going to spare your feelings. I'm going to tell you, if it's not right, I'm going to tell you, because that's why you're here, to listen to truth. And so I'm not going to hype anything. If it's something that's designed to steal your money, I'm going to call it as I see it. Now, with that being said, I like this because it's come down to basically 50%. It's where it should be. Everything's working just like a well-oiled machine. So we'll spare talking about what XYO is, because I've discussed this a lot. You guys can do some research if you're truly interested. I think there's a lot of potential left in this thing. I really do. I think that it's going to continue to stay a strong performer for a while. It's in the same use case or vein as VeChain. It can be used as an inventory or person or car or whatever tracking system. It's just a different type of internet, basically. So it definitely has its use case. So now, is this completely out of the realm of possibility? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Just because we pulled back does not mean that this thing is going to go fall out of bed and drop. I do want to show you something here, by the way. Yeah. One just second. Okay. You'll notice that this velocity. So this is what TA is. This line is the distance of this line is called velocity. It's interesting when using the unfair advantage grid and the AI grid. You can plug the standard TA into our grid, and you find the most interesting correlations. So again, getting back to where this thing was originally called, we got to run to 50%. This is all about mathematics that are way above most people's pay grade. I'd love to be able to teach you guys a course on this stuff, but it's so deep. It would just be a room full of people with smoke coming out of their ears to truly understand what is exactly going on in front of you. I'm trying to give you the thumbnail of this, because there's so much lateral stuff going on over here and off that are related to these moves. It's quite spooky to go back, clear back, and see how something right here is affecting this right here. But I can show it to you and I can demonstrate. And this is kind of the simplified version of what I'm seeing off screen. But anyway, the point being is, so this velocity is playing out still, even though we hit 50% of it and it's dropping. So let me go back and let me show you what I was just about ready to rev up to go. So if we take that from the point, we can see we intersect again. So this is, again, what I'm saying is these velocities have much more practical use other than just the call at hand. I've never really talked about this a little bit, but every once in a while I got to kind of geek out of my system and talk about it because it's fun. So if you were to look at this, where I've just placed it, you'll notice that 50% through that velocity is right where the bottom of that support and resistance is. Also, you'll notice that this right here is now forming resistance right there. So where are we going to go? From there, basically, we're going to be ping-ponging along, possibly like this. This is just a maybe, okay? Don't ask me why. That's a little bit more detailed question. But if that works like that, or even slightly trending up, what you're seeing may very well end up being a broadening ascending wedge. Now from that, what you end up getting is you end up getting a move upwards, which will complete this arrow in its original call. And I think it's a strong degree of likelihood. So, which is right there. Actually, and this is another thing that we've talked about, this being the call, but we have our favorite dual AI lines, a Fibonacci line plus an ISIS line. Not going to surprise me, probably within the month we're going to be right there. Now, from where we're at currently to there, that's a 60% run. And yeah, I just said that. 60% run. It's very likely. Very likely. By the time we're over in November, you're likely going to be seeing 10 cents, plus 10 cents XYO. So be aware of that. A little tip from your Uncle Baron. So Dent, let me get take a look at that real quick. Now, see, we got a rounding bottom that we're falling out of, so that not necessarily a rounding bottom. We'll go. I like to use the one-day chart on Dent. I've done so well with one-day charts with Dent. I just kind of a creature of habit. I just hate to forsake this chart because it's been so friggin' accurate. All right, so where we're at with this. We should have probably seen a drop down into here, and we got to the 50%, so we can kind of pretty much call that a bottom. Now, should we be buying into Dent? Should we be jumping in? Because again, I've got an $11 call on Dent. But $11 doesn't mean today, tomorrow, next week. It means fairly soon, within 36 to 48 months. Dent is not a play where you throw all your apples in that and you sit back and you just stare at the charts for day after day after day. Win, moon, win, moon, win, moon. I have to kind of go back and revisit this concept because this is, I think, for new investors, probably the hardest thing to wrap your mind around. I know it hurts people's feelings, and I know you think you got maybe a better system or something like that. I'm telling you, as a 35-year plus investor, this is the way the game is played. Looking at Dent right now, I've done excessively well on Dent. I'm not in Dent right now. And the reason I'm not in Dent is because it's not the fastest pony. It's going to run probably one of the farthest running ponies. So I'm going to have to catch it halfway down the trail, or not halfway, but a further percentage of the road down the trail to $11, which is what Anubis is doing. The reason being is because, again, I want to take my money, I want to put it into the pony that's going to run a sprint, not a marathon. I'm only investing in sprinters right now. So that's a new little term I'm going to start using from this broadcast, because it I like to use these little terminology that people can kind of pick up on. You're investing in sprinters, not marathoners right now. When you become wealthy, when you can spread the wealth around a little bit, then you can start investing on marathoners. Marathoners come next year. Marathoners are going to probably be much more prevalent next year. Right now, sprinters are where we're at. So sprinters are the ones that's going to build your portfolio. Marathons are the ones that are going to carry you to the next level. So we'll leave it at that. So this one is very clearly a marathoner. So we're going to have to be looking for, probably picking up somewhere, and I can only estimate, but when Shiba does its thing, then we take Shiba profit and we look around and we see what makes sense, hopefully get a pullback at that point in time, and then we start going, okay, this one's solid, this one's solid, this one's solid, and we start buying those. And that's what we're going to be doing in VIP here when the blessed event happens. The baby Jesus dog, or whatever you want to call it, whenever Shiba finally does its blessed event and spews forth its crypto profits, then we're going to take it and we're going to start getting real with it. So but that's effectively what it is. And so I want to make sure that you guys understand that concept, because not having a game plan will wreck you just as fast as making stupid moves, because you can make several pseudo smart moves that are not as good, and then stack one stupid move on top of that, and it takes it all from you. So I mean, you're doing well, and then you're not doing well. So again, we're just looking for the fast movers right now, and that's all that matters. So yes, I have people that every once in a while I want to kind of slap a few of you guys because, well, what about this? You missed this one. No, I didn't miss it. I'm not paying attention to it because yes, it's going up, but it's not a sprinter. And so I want to make real sure on public that I'm explaining to you guys that I'm aware a lot of these are going to go. I've seen them, I've called them and stuff like that, but they're not running statistically as fast as the ones that I'm watching. So I just want to be clear on that. So Cardano, let's get rid of that. Cardano would be kind of basically in the marathoner class. However, this was again that same run up that I told you that other coin, whatever that was, Ethereum or something, was doing. So this line, this prediction line, was put in weeks and weeks ago, and we went straight up, ping, hit it exactly, not a little bit, not kind of, exactly, and we're leveling off. So what does that mean? Well, that means that it's going up. That's good. We like that. But will it hold ground? I think that this is just getting to the next level and then leveling off. So here's the thing with this. Again, we're not chasing balloons. If you were in down here, this, you could call it. Let's just call it what it is. What do we call a formation class that does this? That is a sleeper. Sleepers wake up running, and you're seeing exactly. So this system works every single time. If you could just show the patience. Too many opportunities are just as bad as no opportunities at all. You're blessed with an abundance of options, and it sucks when you pick an option and you watch one boost faster than others. It's just the psychology of investing. You can't buy it all because it's like the old joke says, you can't own it all because then where would you put it? You know. And it's one of those things. You just have to pick a few favorites and just love them to death. You know, on good days, love them to death on bad days. It is what it is. So anyway, what we're looking for the next couple of days with this, not going to surprise me probably that we are going to play sideways for a while. We've had a run on this. Now we're just going to basically tread water for a little bit. We could be within from here. Now let me mark this off. We could probably be spending a little bit of time. I'll tell you what, TradingView just tests my patience every time with these. So basically, you're looking at probably in this range right here. We could track sideways, bounce around in this for a little while before we finally do something. And not saying we couldn't break down again, back down to this AI, but for the next week, you can only look so far in the future. For the next week, I'm expecting probably certainly no higher than this, but likely that we're probably going to spend some time for the next 2-3 days in this general, because we've had the run up. I don't expect another run to come after that at this point in time, because it's gonna the old supermarket grocer, as the old saying is basically putting something else. His next can of tomatoes or his next can of soup is going on sale. So we had our sale on whatever this was. So take your profits or not. Take them and put them into something else. So I'm not saying you couldn't take profits, because if I were in this and just saw let's say for example, I saw this as a sleeper, bought it right here, let's say I made 15%, I would probably trim it, and I would probably take that profit and put it into something else and just keep rinsing and repeating. You don't need two kidneys. Two kidneys is overrated. Two kidneys is overrated. Who are you trying to impress? That's an old joke. You guys are new on live stream. Sell a kidney if you have to, but buy more of this. That's kind of where that joke comes from. So we have a lot of weird culture going on in Fibby charts and the Unfair Advantage. So your first couple of weeks probably with us in our group. By the way, if you guys want to join our free Discord, feel free to do that. We'd love to have you be a part of it. There's no charge to be in the general admission. Just simply go to the invite. You can go to the short term, which is just go to www.theunfairadvantage.chat. And that's an invite from me to join our group. And you basically just join that, and then you get into general chat. And if you guys do subscribe to VIP Gold, VIP, the hidden rooms and stuff that you don't see from the public. So, yeah, not medical advice, exactly. I'm not a doctor, but I do invest in crypto. Now, Polkadot, I'm going to start talking an awful lot more about Polkadot because it's a crypto whose time is coming. You know, hopefully you guys got in back in the $12 days of me starting to talk about this. But again, this is a marathoner. You can very clearly see that. You know, nothing too sexy going on other than just nice steady returns. This is almost looking like Solana back in the day. Polkadot's going to do just fine. How do you do? Just fine, thank you. Should you be jumping in on it? No, because you're not going to get the greatest returns. Again, I'm going to keep saying this. You want to get the sprinters, and then you want to reinvest them in the marathoners. Or you want to get a couple sprinters in a row, and then eventually, at some point in time, you're going to get tired of trying to find the next sprinter, and you better buy in on this. And by that time, this might be up to 75, 80 bucks, but by no means is this done running. By no means. So don't worry about it. You'll be just fine. Now, we had some, I don't talk about this one very much. It's kind of fallen out of my favor, and it's not really that I got a reason to. It's just that, well, I'll tell you kind of basically why I don't really, I used to be basically a lot more focused on Zillow. I liked it because it was a cheap one. I'm not saying that I'm not trash talking it, but here's the thing: I have to apply logic. I have to apply the reality. I have to get real with you about this. So, what is Zill? Zill is a retail based coin. It has to do with people buying stuff. Let's just apply some common sense to that. Are people broke? Are people going to be more broke? Are people going to spend less money in the future? Yes, yes, yes. So ergo, is Zillow a good investment? Now it is. Is it going to be later on? Might be a bit soon for me to call this a washout coin, but I can tell you right now, I wouldn't be holding it for long term. If you can make some swing money on it, again, I would be much rather inclined to swing money on T-Fuel. But if you can make swing money on it, make no mistake, you can see this thing does do those types of moves every once in a while. Not with the predictability of T-Fuel, but if you're in this, probably listen to my words. I've been a retailer for damn near 40 years in multiple businesses. I'm telling you, I called all this shit a long time ago, a year before it happened. I'm on record of calling all this stuff before anyone even knew about what Corona was, saying, you know, I was Chicken Little a year before everything else went to shit, telling them businesses are going to start failing, blah, blah, blah. And CNBC was on the deck of the Titanic playing their favorite top 10 hits. And I was screaming on the other end of the boat, get the fuck off. And I was right. I was right. So what I'm telling you is this. Zill is, it's going to be okay for a while, but when you start to see people's pocketbooks start to shrink and be non-existent, Zill's going to go down the hole. It's going to go down the hole. So if you're holding this as your portfolio, stand by the exit because it's going to happen. I promise you that. Now, I'm going to give you guys a freebie, so listen to me closely. That is a sleeper. That is a sleeper. It's going to go along, it's going to go along, it's going to go along, and eventually this thing is going to go wham, it's going to take off. Watch sushi. Watch it, because it's going to happen. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to give you a timeline. If you want to play. I'm not suggesting you do anything, but I'm telling you right now, my opinion is that's a sleeper. It's a little slower. You got a little while to go before this thing goes, but let me show you what happened just in that drop. That's a 17% drop. We have an opening move that has to be closed, and if this thing's closed, it's not beyond the realm of impossibility to come up to that dual AI line. It's been tested once, twice, 3, 4 times. So there's all the reason in the world to believe we would at least get a 50% move of velocity right there. And that move right there alone, and conservative, when a sleeper wakes up running, you know, screw velocity. It goes just nuts. I mean, some of you guys have seen some of my sleeper calls go 60%. So I mean, even I can't predict how crazy they get, but you know, enjoy the ride is what I'm saying. So, but just using standard TA, you're looking at from here to here, not an outrageous return, but if you can make 10% in fairly short term, I'm talking about within the next week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. So what's the date today? The 9th. So I'll go out on a limb. I'll put my neck on the chopping block. I would tell you that probably by the 22nd you're going to be seeing this line right here. Highly likely. If not much higher. So and again, this is a good example of why we don't chase balloons. Here's a sleeper that played out. So it's nice that this popped up next in the chat. So this is what happens with a sleeper. Hiccup. And then we have slow. This is a little unusual for us to start trend, but you always get the hiccup. The hiccups always come. Z, hiccup, and then up she goes. This one's a little unusual, but I was still vindicated. Wham. Wake up running. Now this thing, nobody saw this coming. Nobody saw this coming. 90%, but I did. I told you this was a sleeper. 90%. Now this is part number 2 of this, is why you don't chase balloons. You don't run after balloons and throw cash at balloons, because what happens, anything that comes up this fast, when you see, this is why you've got to have the best tools that money can buy, that your money can buy. You need to have TradingView, and don't be a cheap ass. Subscribe to TradingView, for Christ's sake. What are you doing? I mean, if you're an investor, or you fancy yourself an investor, don't be using that thing with the pop-ups every 15 minutes. Subscribe to TradingView. I think they give you 60% off, and I make no money from TradingView, so I'm not shilling it. I'm not an affiliate. I'm just simply telling you. It is the tool that we base Fibby charts on. It is the tool that we use within the unfairadvantage.chat. It is the tool of traders. You must have it. So subscribe to the thing, because you get all the additional little bells and whistles and stuff like that. So it helps you to be able to do what you do. But the main thing is this. I'll get back to the would I buy XLM question here. Let me get through the charts before I divert. I want to kind of keep right down the middle of the road here and not tell stories and whatever. Good luck with that, right? But I want to kind of go through this, because I got a lot of stuff I want to get unpacked here for you guys before I start going back and getting off the rails. But anyway, you don't want to chase this stuff, because it does pull back. Now, as funny as this is, look at this. We're going into a second sleeper. I've never seen this, but I'm telling you right now, it's going to happen. I'm telling you right now, it's going to happen. It's going to be a little while. I would not call that a hiccup, but we basically had a run up. We had a pullback. So this is, again, before I sidetrack myself, this is why when you see this run up and you start to see, let's dig in here a little bit more. You're subscribed to TradingView. You've got something called an alarm right here. You can set alerts for yourself to tell you, like, okay, well, if it gets past a certain all-time high, it'll go off on my phone. That's when you should use your phone, is to send you alerts going, oh shit, get over here and take a look at 1 inch, and then you need to pedal your ass back home and sit in front of the charts and watch this thing take off, because what you should see here, or what you would have seen if you were watching this, is very telling. It had a run, a pullback. The TA was suggesting, let's go back and look at the tape from the game. So if let's take that. So if we take this right here and we look at that, we go, well, what should happen? This was the velocity. This is a standard TA right down the middle by the book. How should this play? So we had a run up. We had a very classic bull flag. You've heard me talk numerous times about what is and what isn't a bull flag. A bull flag, when it kind of goes, let me kind of sketch this. A bull flag goes up, and it has a reasonable, or bull pennant. Pennant can be this, flag can be this, okay? And we're talking about formations inside. Either or, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. What we have here is we have a pennant, or a flag, okay? Now, classically speaking, now when we get something that's like really out there, that's not a flag. At some point in time, we have to cut that off and say, okay, well, maybe they're not going to give it to us this time, because that does happen an awful lot. But you had a classic example of this. When you've seen this thing go down, I kind of want to also talk about one other thing here, which I rarely ever talk about, but it does bear mention because I'm seeing it here. So anyway, you've got a very classic example of something that should be taken off. But if we take that velocity and say, okay, well, the way TA teaches this is we take that and we put it right here on where the flag is. Look at that. It hit it exactly. Exactly. This is the way TA is supposed to work. You can't ask for better. So if you would have got that right there, you saw that run, there should be no mistaking how you should have played this. You shouldn't have had to wait around for me to tell you this because I've been teaching this stuff for so long. You should basically have had, you know, because the likelihood is, we always play probabilities, the likelihood that you get a third one, come on. Nobody's life works that easy. So if you get 2 in a row of these things or run up, you best be thinking somewhere right in there, I better take my money and giggle and run like hell. Because that's exactly what you should have been doing. So if you would have taken this as a sleeper, there's nothing wrong about taking the profit right here, because that would have been pretty respectable in and of itself, because you're looking at right there, you're looking at 49%. Highly unexpected. But to be able to get to 90% thereabouts, oh, glory, hallelujah. Okay, so either one of those would have been a damn good day to be sitting in front of the screen. True? Now, when this thing starts to pull back, here's the thing. What I do like about this, this is very classic. I mean, they're playing the game the way the game should be played. And by them, I mean the exchanges. They're playing the game the way the game should be played, because we had a run up. We are pulled back to 50%. Right about there. We played for a long time along there. And let me zoom in here and explain what necessarily is going on. There's some changes happening at these things called velocity lines. That's these lines right here. Those are part of the Isis Anubis system and part of our unfair advantage grid. So let me show you something also that would have told me. I don't show these. I want to teach you guys something that I've never really talked about probably in the last couple of months. There's something. So these lines here are clock cycles. This is a full clock cycle. This is a half cycle. This is something unique only to our system. And what this is this is when a computer makes a decision to do something and then it launches. You know, should it go up? Should it go down? It's based on a lot of things. I won't get into the whole teaching of that. But however, there is a full cycle, a half cycle, and there's something called a quarter cycle, which I do have access to on my side, but I don't display it publicly. And if you take this line and this line and this line are the same line. This is half of it. But if you divide it again down the middle, look where you end up with on a quarter line, on a quarter pulse cycle. So a quarter pulse cycle basically is right there. So what it's doing is every time we come to that, it's making a decision to do something. And you'll notice I'm not kidding about that. It's literally making a decision to change direction. It's making a decision to change direction. It's making a decision to change direction. You'll notice that this is the 15% rare time where it kind of faked it and then didn't do it. So rarely you get something like this, but most of the time on a full, on a half or a quarter cycle, we get blast off or drop out. 15% of the time we get kind of a meh sideways. So all right, so you guys can't stand it anymore. So I'm gonna do Shiba here next. So I'll just say it. All right. So, or should I do Reef just to keep you hanging on the edge for just a little? Let's do Shiba. Oh God, I don't want to look at it. It's pissing me off too much. Bad dog. Speak to me, boy. Speak to me. I think this coin needs to go to the vet, get a booster shot, get a vitamin B shot. So let's use some of these longer wind charts. Let's take a look and see what's going on here. All right, so look at it backing way off. Does this concern anybody? Because it doesn't concern me. You know, the thing is, it sucks. It sucks. What the hell's going on? Just got to back out. That's a one-day chart. That looks damn good. Damn good. Everything I just told you about, you know, about how it runs up, goes up, pulls back to 50%. There's nothing in this chart that concerns me. We are rolling green. So when the hell is this thing going to kick off? Well, it's going to be the middle of November, guys. So you can very clearly see that. Forget all the moons and all this nonsense. But very clearly you can see there's a defined trend line here that's going through. Let me get my actual professional tools out here. So looking at this, we have a very defined channel right here, and you can see it. Depending upon where you put it, you can see it. Let me change colors on that too, by the way. There we go. So we may still see a little bit more bottom action. It's highly likely. And let's go ahead, because I know this is, when you start dealing with these micro numbers, it gets to be a real pain in the ass. So it's likely that we're probably going to, I'll just put it over here, just keep it out of the way. It's likely that we're probably going to see, let's round that up a little bit. 444. Let's just take it. So it's likely we're going to probably see about a test there, because we've already got once, twice. You know, we might wick across, dip down, come back up, and then continue on. But make no mistake about it, we are seeing a very clear one-day run through this. Now, here's the good news. Look what's at the top of the channel. We have an AI line. We have 0.0001, boys and girls, right on the one-day chart, right there, right in front of you, just showing you everything you want to see. You know, everybody's speculating, but let me show you something else behind door number 2. Door number 2 is right there. That's the dual AI line. That is at 0.00014. So it is highly likely we will hit this. It is less likely we will go out, but as I've said time and time again, this is a one-day chart, so it's not going to happen immediately. If we get anywhere past this AI line right here, if we start to go up and sustain, you can bet your bottom dollar we're going to smack this dual AI line, because they're magnetic. It will pull that up to the dual AI line. It's just it's the craziest thing you'll ever see. Anytime you get close to these dual AI lines, they go up or they go down. So it's a patience game, guys. It sucks. You know, strip away all the grand plans of I'm going to wait for Shiba to go and then I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. It looks good on paper, but as you can see, it's just it's a dirty, rotten waste of time, because I am telling you this. I am telling you that when Shiba goes up, all the regular altcoins usually run in opposition. So, and you've been seeing that with XLM, and we'll discuss that here in a little bit. You know, when Shiba was going up, XLM would go down. XLM's having a good day at the park right now. Shiba's unfortunately not. So, but what I'm telling you is this: Shiba's going to have its day, and then you're going to see something that's going to be a pullback, and then it's going to be push that stuff over into the next sprinter, and the next sprinter is XLM. So we can't speculate. You know, it's nerve-wracking to watch XLM go up while you're watching Shiba go down. But you know, one day, 24 hours, 48 hours could change the game remarkably. So you could be looking at this, and then all of a sudden XLM's like, well, wait a minute, this thing was at whatever it was, 40 cents, and now damn it, now it's back down to 30 cents. Well, that's good. So don't worry about it until the blessed event happens. Until you've got all your eggs in the Shiba basket. Until that thing finally hatches and those things start to take flight. Don't worry about it, because it's just unnecessary mental energy spent worrying. That's what gets you to do stupid trades. Maybe I wasn't right, or maybe Barron was wrong, or maybe Barron's never wrong, by the way. But Barron, maybe this isn't going to work out. Trust me, it's going to work out. Believe me, it's going to work out. We've talked about this for a lot, but there was missed opportunity there on my 21 group, and I won't go into that. But my 21 group has looked at this a number of times. Yeah, Denarian just posted the play. Shiba, XLM, XRP. I have not changed in that respect. Now, by the way, I will say, since I'm starting to talk about sprinters versus marathoners, those first two are sprinters. The last one's the mother of all marathoners, because once you're on that road, that's a long distance cross country runners. What that one is, and I'm not getting off that road until we're at least at 5 figures. So. But again, between Shiba, Shiba, not necessarily am I going to be maniacally focused at Shiba to XLM. I'm going to be pulling off some of it, a percentage, to get some of these other opportunities, because obviously there's a few that I'm looking at, like XDC. XDC is going to be a part of a well-balanced breakfast there somewhere. So I'm going to be pouring myself a glass of that at some point in time, but I'm not going to do it until I've got the cream has been delivered. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where I'm at with that. But as far as Shiba goes, don't worry, guys. It's not as bad as it looks. It's not as bad as it looks. And understand, this is when the foolishness started, and I'll own up to it. I mean, I'm out. I'm out. That should have been down. By all intents and purposes, that is a painful. I'm out and back in. Literally sold at the bottom, bought at the top. Fuck, that hurts. It hurts. But I have a bandage methodology to fix this, so I'll cover that on some VIP live stream on how I can actually make this to turn this to my advantage, because this is not as bad as you think. However, if you are in the same boat where you're like, I sold or whatever, don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. So I have, let me while I'm on this, let me go ahead and kind of explain this a little bit. So I figure I might as well just ramble a little bit about this, since Shiba's kind of the prime discussion. So I'm down. I literally sold at the bottom, and then this thing went up, and I'm like, oh crap. So I'm subject to falling in on these things too, because I'm using the TA. You can see I was we were outside of the yellow channel, so I'm like, oh shit, this is going to happen, because they threw us a bull flag, and then they pulled a fishy on us and basically put it back down. So this was pure manipulation. So they got me. I'll admit it. Good job, guys. You got me. Not got me once, you got me twice. So fool me again, don't get fooled again. So how am I gonna better this position and save my fragile ego? So how this is gonna happen is like this. The name of the game, as I've explained, let's clear the charts here a little bit. The name of the game is it does not matter. Let's come up here and teach a little theory here. So we've talked about this several times. So if you've got a buy and a sell, that is one trade. If you've got another buy and another sell, that is another trade. People are often want to say, well, I bought it here, and if I shoulda, coulda, woulda, I would have been able to sell it, but you didn't. You didn't. And so you're forgetting none of this has anything to do with what we're in this business to do, or what we're in this to do. The name of the game is taking $1 and making as many dollars as you can with it. So there's an opportunity to make money from here to here, and there's an opportunity to make money from here to here. Now, what you're really saying by saying, I could have sold here, is you're saying you'd have the same buying power. But buying power is not the same as dollar upon dollar, as dollar return. So, I mean, if you can get 20% here, you can get 20% here, you just made 40%. Good enough. Forget the fact you're even in the market right here. 40%, if you go and just tell everybody statically, you just made 40% money, return on your money, people are going to look at you like you're a damn genius. So you have to remember, the name of the game is to add money, because the thing is like, okay, you're also thinking within an ecosphere of one coin. You've got other coins down over here doing something completely different. So if you get in here and you get a profit, you might want to take that profit and go put it somewhere else. You don't necessarily always have to go back into the same coin. Go put it into another coin, let it get back up, let it go up a little bit, get your profit, and then maybe you can go catch this on a pullback. And I know I'm getting kind of squishy here, I'm getting kind of squiggly here, but what I'm suggesting to you is you don't have to play the game within one ecosphere. The name of the game is to add dollars to dollars as fast as possible. So don't be concerned about the fact that you're taking and you're selling here, and then the thing got out of control and it went way up about $3, and oh well shit, I got to get this. Basically you're just looking as, if I get in the entryway, can I get out of the exit at profit? That is the end of the discussion. This is not a hodl play. I know this is looking like a football play at this point in time, but the main discussion here, the main thrust of what I'm trying to say here is this: you're trying to take $1 or yen or pound or whatever it is, and multiply that again and again and again and again, and it doesn't matter how many times you do it or what you do it with. The name of the game is to make this thing grow as much as possible. And so don't get one-itis with Shiba, like, oh, I could have got Shiba, I could have done this or whatever. Take that profit when you get it. Just see it for what it is, profit. You put $1 in, get as many dollars back out, take that, and then reevaluate the game. Should I put it back in to Shiba, or should I go look for another place to invest lower and let that grow? So that's the end of the discussion. So you guys that are upside down on Shiba, like I am right now, I'm kind of in a situation right now. You don't lose until you sell. That's kind of what I want to say is this: you don't lose until you sell. If I book a profit, then I'm taking a major bath if I sell out. But right now, basically, I bought at this position, so I'm going to have to hold this until it's profitable, and which it will be. So the fact that I sold here, yeah, it hurts my pride. I'm not going to lie to you. If it goes down here, I have another option where I can dollar cost average in, which is not my favorite strategy. I can do this and lower my cost basis down with throw good money after stupid, if you want to say. There's that way. Or you can just basically just wait it out and say, okay, well, you know, when this thing goes up to here, which it's going to happen, then I've made myself from here to here. I've made myself 14%, 15%. Great. Now I'll take my 15% and maybe I sidestep Shiba and go find something that might rocket a little bit faster, and then maybe Shiba's having a down day or a down week, and then I'll pick up Shiba some other time and continue with that. So currently I'm riding the misery train with you guys. So it's a bitter pill to swallow, but that's the reality of how it works. So hang tight, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Make no mistake about it. Now I'm not suggesting also, you know, if the universe tends to love me once in a while, it won't feel good, but we have a velocity hanging out here, and it's not been resolved yet. It's very possible, guys. Very possible. I had a call down here a long time ago. I mean, oh, that's going to hurt. That's going to hurt for people to see that go. But I had already told you, you know, be prepared for it to go to here. It could go even worse. The reason why I say here is because here is about roughly 50%. So do not rule out the possibility that it could go. You know, should you sell for that inevitability? I wouldn't bank on it. I'm just simply telling you that it's possible it could happen. But would I be dollar cost averaging in here? Oh, hell yes, hell yes. And that would lower my cost basis literally right back down to about where I sold out. So. Doge, you can see again, I've been very vindicated in telling you I'm just not impressed with Doge anymore. I'm just not. It's just, you know, I mean, I think this was a hey, remember me, guys? I think this was the manager tired of looking at cans of Doge dog food, not move and put it on sale for a while. But look what happens every single time. This is why we don't chase balloons. Because they'll take it from you eventually, you know, and then it's building. But this is probably going to revisit the AI line right here. So 0.2335. Well, here's something. Here's a thought. If you guys want to swing trade, I'll give you permission. In my opinion, not permission. That's probably a poor choice of words. But I'll give you my sentiment, my positive sentiment towards trading Doge at a certain set price. At that AI line, it makes sense to me. And the reason why I say that is this: if we get to 25, let's just call it 25.4, 2.254. You know, if you do like a buy order for Doge right here, Doge. Let's talk about this for a second. Doge will go up. I mean, it will. It's become very mainstream, but it's just lost that edge that Shiba's got. Shiba is stealing all the thunder out of Doge, and you can very clearly see that by looking at the charts. Yeah, you can't do Doge. I'm with you, Denary, but hear me out on this. For swing trade, if you're bored, you're just like, damn it, I'm tired of looking at Shiba. I want something going on that puts some sexy back into this. This'll do it. This'll do it. If you do a purchase at this point in time, I'm pretty confident that you know, the general market flavor is going to be up between now and the third week of February. Here, yeah, 5x by the end of the year, easy. So here's what I'm saying is this: if you did yourself a purchase right here of an order with Coinbase or whatever to get this, it's highly likely. Let's bring this channel down here. It's highly likely. Let's just play the obvious that you can get yourself a fairly easy return from here to here of about 15-16%. Or half of that being about 7, which is not all that attractive. But if you get on this will have its turnaround day. So you've got a couple of break points where this thing might possibly jiggle. It'll go down here. It'll most definitely revisit this because you got support and resistance like crazy right through here. So it'll hit that, then it'll bounce off of this right here. Then you can book your 16%. Or if you want to go behind door number 3, your next move up here is this, because you've got a lot of support and resistance at this. And ultimately you can go even as far as right there. These are certain plays that will happen without even getting massively bullish about it. You can just look at this and go, okay, well, what could a guy make from here to here? Well, you can make 33 to 34%. This is what I'm talking about. This will happen in a very short period of time. We've got a velocity move here that needs to be resolved. And if it gets resolved, and I'll be conservative about it, if it gets resolved from there to there, you're looking at that move, which by the way is a dual AI line right here. You're looking at that. But let's play it through the middle, just to play our familiar 50%. It's going to put you right there. So I'll change colors on that because it's going to be a bit of a squeal. Right there. That's it. That's to quote unquote easy money. That's an easy play to play. So if you're looking at from here to here, you're looking at about 20 to 21%. And I think I would get off the train at that point in time. Book profit, take it, throw it at something that's going to be a bigger runner. So. Yes, I changed my desktop. I got tired of looking at it. I lost that house, and I'm just tired of looking at it. So I'm a huge Ren and Stimpy fan. So you guys just have to tolerate my foolishness once in a while. All right, so let's talk about greatest hits. So I told you, man, I told you. So this one, this is the mother of all sleepers. This thing has got narcolepsy, and that's to our. This thing could just go into sleep mode at any moment. I love this coin because it's so predictably irrational. I've been watching this thing for over a year, and I'm telling you right now, this money is not done yielding, not done paying out yet. So let me show you what hypothetically I think is about to happen for this. So let's go back in the story. Let's go into the Wayback Machine here. So look how much sleeping. You think I wasn't ready for this? Shit. They owed me a pop. You know, the longer the nap, the bigger the run. I don't know what you want to say about that, but they owed me something because I told you. I've been telling you and telling you and telling you. There was our hiccup right there. I told you this was coming. And this thing went down below, and when we got down here, I was really adamant about telling all the VIP people, guys, this is not going to do this and stay down here. For the love of God, please get in on this. And so I was right. And so from that point in time, you're looking at as much as 200, and we'll just round it up for sake, 220%. That's the best sleeper call I have ever done. But I was also 100% probably more convicted that it was going to happen than any other sleeper call I've ever done. So good on me. That's the sound of me patting myself on the back because I deserve it. I told you this was coming. So anyway, are we going to get another one of those? Yes. Oh, absolutely, yes. So you can already see what I'm expecting. So let's go back and rediscuss this. I told you that there's nothing wrong with this coin. Let me get back up right here. I lost my chat here. Hold on a second. I told you there was nothing wrong with this coin because it got delisted off of off of Binance or something like that. There was nothing wrong with the coin. It's just basically sentiment. Oh my God, they got delisted off of it. I suck. Oh, poo. And nobody does any research because everybody sucks. They just go. They follow the news. But I'm like, where's the bad news? There was no bad news. The bad news is basically somebody just doesn't want to listen. It was probably a compliance thing or a personality. Who knows? Crypto's funny like that. But my point being is this: I looked at this at the fundamentals and I said, "Show me where the real problem is with Populous," and I didn't see it. So I kept saying over and over and over again, "Get it." And I don't know for a fact that somebody didn't already come and say, "Yeah, we'll list Populous." Now that might have happened. I don't know. There might have been speculation. There might have just been a whale goes, "Okay, I'm gonna watch what I do to these guys." Whatever it was, I knew something was coming. Because it had to. Just statistically, I love statistics. And statistically, it was way past due. So, good on me for calling it. Good on you for taking advantage of what I told you was coming. So, now, let's make the assumption that this was just shenanigans, foolishness, whale play, or whatever. I hope it's whale play. Because what's going to happen, and you can see what I'm already suggesting is going to happen, it's going to come back down and it's going to come back home. It always does. Populous has a habit of coming back to square one. It just does. Now you can really kind of call that here, not necessarily across the top of the yellow box. And you can go back way back a year earlier. Mods know that I've long maintain that there's just, it'll do a spike and it'll come back and it'll do a spike. And I mean, literally like about every 2 or 3 weeks, you're like, oh, I made some money on Populous. Oh, I made some more money. I made some more money. It's almost the closest thing to like, a cash machine. It's ridiculous. Now, looking at this, let's just look at it purely from a straight TA standpoint. Now, from a straight TA standpoint, this is what this chart suggests to me. We are in a downward trend, so let's pick it up from where it should be going. Now, in a downward trend, this is a velocity that has not played out yet. We bounced sideways, so we've got to have a closing move to an opening move. I won't get into explaining why that is. You guys have been on live stream with me long enough to understand what that is. So let's grab that and let's stick it. Booyah, baby, right on the red line, right where it should be. Exactly. This is a perfect chart. It works just exactly the way it should be working. Now, if we want to, usually when I make a call like that, I always, you'll notice that I'm talking 50% moves a lot more than I ever have, because it's just getting to be a thing that's just about probably 90% predictable. So if anything that's that predictable, you consider it pretty much the gospel. So again, let's take 50% of this velocity, put you right here, and lo and behold, that's your first resistance right there. So this is your drop. If your drop is going to go to here, easily go to there. Now, should you buy it at that point in time? That's a call you'll have to make. But what I'm suggesting to you is this is almost in the bag as the possibility for the drop. It'll test this AI for a little bit, but once she leaks through, it has to kind of hit a resistance, a stammering point, if you will, for this. But make no mistake about it, the next move down takes you down to the top of this, which is right here, and that fulfills the full velocity. So if we take, let's just get our channel out. Let's play it the channel way. If we do that, channels are kind of a funny little critters, because you can find so much truth in them no matter where you pick them up. So sometimes it's just intuition, sometimes it's just poke and pray, whatever. But generally, I tend to try and find. Somebody asked me about this the other day. I tend to try and find a strong 2-3 ratio. I'm not finding it here, but I'm still good with it. 2-3 ratio basically means this: minimum 2-3 ratio. Like you got a spot here, and a spot here. You have to generally have 2 there, and then you make your channel like this. So you expect that your ping pong zone be like that, and your mid channel is like that. That's how I do it. That's pretty much the black magic behind what's going on. Doesn't mean you're always necessarily gifted with that. Where's our 2? Well, I'm ballparking there. Might see a little bit right there. Definitely see one there. Definitely see one there. So, okay, that's the top part. Where's the bottom? Well, we don't know, but I do see one right there. So I'm willing to kind of concede, because through the middle I see a tremendous amount of respect through the middle. So I'm going to concede. Here's what I'm telling you is this. Okay, well, yeah, we'll come in that direction. So you guys hanging with me, or am I talking too fast? So I got to get all this stuff out of my head before the picture changes. So, all right. So let me go back to square one, because I think this is a good lesson for you guys to understand. So the 2-3 ratio that I just told you, that's bare minimum. So obviously we've established where we think we've got a general top to this channel. All right. So what I did is I just pulled that channel down to the lowest part, which is right here. And by doing that, I go, does this make sense to me? Yeah, it does. Why? Because the half channel is always respected very well. You can see we've got a lot of activity going on in the half channel. All right, so good. And actually, if we wanted to, and we don't need to make things complex, we could call that a micro channel, because again, we can see a lot of half play going on there. But let's just broaden this to the full spectrum of the thing. So again, we basically got 2 channels stacked on top of each other. So now that we've got the road, how can we start plugging in TA to kind of make sense? Well, then we start using the other tools of what's going on. So we can pretty much expect this to be the downtrend. So if I'm suggesting to you with this particular coin that we're going to be hitting this based upon the velocity of this and stuff like that, we start plugging all these theories together, and we start to form a story which kind of gives us a narrative and even a time frame if you know how to read this. So let me show you how this works. So let me get some of this garbage out of here. Now, Populous is not playing well with the other kids. It doesn't have a damn thing to do with the good week that we're having. So, you know, that was it. That was your good week right there. All right, so if I'm suggesting to you that we need to get through here, let me show you the interesting thing. So if we're ping-ponging along and we're expected to go down to the half is right here, all right? So if we're expected to come down here, so we have to kind of start drawing in something here. So when would we possibly get to there? Probably right about there would be, you know, just generally speaking, right about there. When would we get the rest of the way down? Well, that could be at any point in time, but what I'm saying is if we just kind of start to triangulate a few things like the half channel, you know, supports and resistances, uppers and lowers, where we expect to go and stuff like that, to get down and still stay inside of the channel. This is the point I'm trying to make here. So the first touch off on this red line is literally right here, all right? So the earliest staying inside of this channel that we can probably touch off on this line and fulfill this is, we pull out our timeline from right here to right here. We're looking at about 8 hours. So from 8 hours, I'm not expecting that we're going to come down and smack this line before 8 hours. This is something you guys have never seen me do on live stream before, so I'm kind of revealing a little bit of stuff here. This is definitely one you want to get out the notebooks and come back and reference this, because this is TA at its finest. Using our grid the way it's designed to use. This is how it's done. So again, one more time. So basically we are here. Let me get rid of all this crap. All right, so if we're expecting this to come down here, and I'll build a narrative after I get done with this. So if we are here and we're expecting it to get down here, we have to find an intersection. Again, it's right there. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my time, I'm clicking right there, I'm moving over to here, and it says basically about, let's just say 10 hours. 10 hours is the fastest, unless we get some weird wick. Reasonably speaking, if we're just lollygagging around, 10 hours is the fastest we're going to get. Now, it's probably going to be longer than that, so don't obsess about that. But anyway, let me take this out a little bit further because it needs to go. Now, this is how I get these windows I'm always talking about. So you see where I'm going with this? So if I'm suggesting to you that you know, we're coming down to the red, we're going to stay inside of a channel, we have a triangulation happening right here. So we also have a time point right here. So from this time point, which if we're going to stay inside of this and we're going to hit this red, the squeeze point is literally right there, correct? All right, so if we go from this point here back to our current, what I'm telling you is we will be down, shortest case scenario, 8 hours. Longest case scenario, 3 days, 3 hours. That's our window. So inside of 3 days and 3 hours, we are going to complete this move and come down here. Now this is a pretty stable move, nothing too exciting. Now all this is for naught. It doesn't matter when it gets down there. Just know that I expect it's going to get down there. I'm just showboating right now. I just want to show you some of the cool ways to use this grid. Okay, so now we've got that understood. So here's what I'm telling you is this: when it gets down to this red arrow, and it will, when it gets down to the red arrow, I would not dissuade a single one of you from buying this and just waiting for the next pop, because the next pop is going to come, and I'll tell you exactly how high it's going to come. What you're going to see is you're going to see what we always see with this, is it's going to work like this. It's going to come down to the red line. Excuse this, it just drives me nuts when it does that. It's going to come down to the red line, and when it pops, but I'll tell you what, this thing just is not like that. There we go. When it pops, it's going to pop to the most highest resistance it finds, which is right here, support and resistance. So this is a sucker bet right there, sucker bet. And so from here to here, you're looking at 36, anywhere from 35 to 37.5%. Class dismissed. That's how it works. And it's only a matter of time. I would give it 30 days or less. All right, so Quant, I told, again, another one, told you, sleeper, sleeper, sleeper. I mean, I'm nailing sleepers like, you know, This is how this is. And there again, I'm going to keep making the same points. There's your hiccup. This one was on a descending. See these slightly ascending, slightly descending. Don't be dissuaded by that. If you got the characteristics of a general flat move and a hiccup in the middle of it, it's coming. It's coming. So you're looking at from the bottom of that move to the top of that move, 40%. Guys, the big money plays are starting to happen. I told you this 3 months, 4 months, 5 months ago. I told you when this market starts to go, it has been some of you guys have been with me for a long time. It's like, man, you know, you used to get these 20% per day. I told you, yeah, we're in the short period of time. So now I'm finding you these moves that are coming now. They're starting to yield 40%. The good days are ahead, guys. There's going to be a time, and not to put a sales pitch on this, but you guys have been around long enough. Some of you guys have been around long enough know that I'm not bullshitting when I say this. There is going to come a time, probably this month, where when I step to the charts and show you something, it's going to be damn hard not to pull off 20 to 25, 35, 45, 50, 60% move profits. So, you know, oh Lord, please deliver me some Shiba, because when it happens, it's going to be a feeding frenzy for all the guys that are in the group. Seriously. So I'm showing you this because I want you to be pumped up, but you can clearly see I'm not blowing smoke at you. I told you this was coming. I told you Quant was going to go. I told you Populous was going to go. If I've not demonstrated value to you guys that are new on live stream, then you should join our group for free. If you like what you're seeing for free here on live stream, you ain't seen nothing yet. The guys that have been with me for a long time know that I've got a tremendously accurate track record for this stuff. So if you listen to me, again, I don't hand advice, but if you listen to me, you'll profit very well by using your own discernment and this guy that talks and tells stories a lot. He's got a good insight. So. Now, I want to talk a little bit about, let's talk about Algorand. So Algorand was one that I told you guys that, hey, things are going to start happening. Now, let's go back. I just have to continue gloating here since I'm going to... for a long time, I have to go back off this and get a bigger chart. There we go. So for the longest time, I told you guys that, let's get all that trash off there. I told you guys that Algorand was going to start doing something, and Algorand, it's been pretty good for a while for Algorand, but I don't think it's going to show me anything more on the one day. I said that this thing right about here, I said that things are going to start popping off for Algorand, and we have not seen. This is an ISO coin. This is a system coin. By system, I mean this is one of the things going to power the world. Algorand's a big one. It's a really big one. I told you guys that this was going to happen. Now here again is another call. Ping, hit it beautifully. Here's the 50%, hit it, went down. See, this is a good example of why when I show you the move, well, he always ever hits 50%. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Look at how many calls I did for you guys that hit just within this one chart. I said, this is it. Here's the 50%. We hit the 50%. Here's the overall call. We hit that too. Short of that, after we did this, I told you we're going to go down. We hit that one too. So follow my lead. I'll make you the money. Now, some of these, I'm going to have to get on my other chart here. So we recently added sand. I'm not going to cover this in live stream, but we recently added sand. This is going to be something tied to the metaverse, and we're going to be discussing an awful lot more about this. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to give you my 3 cents worth on this right now, and we're going to revisit this. So again, I've said this enough on just this broadcast alone. We do not chase balloons. This is a big old balloon right here. You can clearly see why you don't chase balloons. But again, this is a very healthy chart. Very healthy chart, because we didn't even get the run up back to 50%. Although we could. This is a 50% drop. Where's sand going to go? Oh, I think I know. You're looking at probably around about $2.15 in the not too far flung future, because you cannot have this kind of run that you don't have a give back of some percentage. Okay, but when you get that, you get that triangle, and once we hit bottom, then we're going to be off to the next thing. So this is all hype. for the metaverse. People bought into it, and then those that kind of didn't get the follow up, sucks to be you. So if you are not in Sand, if you guys that are subscribed, I'm not tracking this in anything but Platinum Pro. Platinum Pro is going to be tracking this heavily. I'm going to be, every once in a while, I'll be throwing charts in Platinum. But if you want this chart, if you really want to know, I am going to be a big investor in this. Big investor. Sand is a metaverse token. You betcha. So I'm going to be a big investor in this. So the way that I talk about Shiba, the way I talk about XLM or XRP and stuff like that, I'll be talking about Sand the same way because I know what this is and I know what it's going to be. Crypto Joni, who's our new course teacher along with Red Bear, is a very good researcher. Brought this to my attention. I saw it. I knew it instantly what it was and what it was going to be good for. So this is referred to as Sandbox. Sand is its shortened hype. Or is it shortened token name? But Sandbox is what we're talking about here. So, little tip of the hat to everybody that wants to kind of get in, $2.15 slightly. $2.15, $2.16 is likely your floor on this as it sags lower. I don't think I would be too hesitant to probably snap it up at that. But where we go from there, where's the high? That's to be stated inside of the subscription. So if you guys want to know anything, you guys want to step up, in your subscriptions to Platinum Pro, this would be a damn good time to do it because the money's going to start flowing like you cannot possibly believe. And you want to make sure that you got the best tools possible. So yes, it is more expensive, but you get what you pay for. So that being said, so by the way, also some of you guys are not aware of this, and I probably should be saying this more often than not. Any of you guys that have done lifetime subscriptions, Chase will do this for you. I'm the guy that facilitates, but basically Chase is the owner of Fibby Charts. Any guys that are lifetime subscribers at any level, gold, platinum, whatever. If you want to upgrade to a larger level, if you want to go gold to, say you want to go gold to diamond, if you're making killer money or whatever, if you want to go platinum to diamond, if you want to go whatever, if you want to go gold to Platinum Pro. If you're going lifetime subscription to lifetime subscription, we can't do it on a monthly, but if you're going lifetime subscription to lifetime subscription upgrade, if you want to go to Platinum Pro lifetime from any lower level, whatever you paid for your current lifetime subscription can be applied to the current price. It's just basically current price to current price. So whatever the current price is, if you got a discount, then great on you. But say, for example, if you're wanting to go from gold to Platinum Pro lifetime, if you are a current gold or a current platinum subscriber, whatever the current price of that is right now, we will take that off the upgrade, and then you can just pay the difference. So like that. So that's a snazzy way to kind of keep leveling up, and we want to see all you guys do that. So just I'm going to be mentioning that because a lot of times it's not always obvious that you can do that. So all right. So CFG, we're not going to cover these. ALBT and CFG, these three are new additions, and we got a couple more coming behind that to Platinum Pro. Big guys, big. Going to be huge. So we're going to be watching that. So we didn't talk about XRP. So XRP is, aren't we all just about sick and tired of talking about this damn SEC case? Like, just do it for the love of God, will you please? And it's great. It's a $1.25. I mean, to be honest, I'm kind of the mind where a lot of you guys are. We all know that the end game is get into XRP and ride on to glory. So to see this go to $1.25, yeah, it's nice for those of you that are holding stuff like that. So you kind of have a split mind, like, I want you to go up, but I don't want you to go up too much. And so this is going to be one of those cases where you see things go up, and you're just like, well, I could have got it at $1, but now I got to buy it at $2. Yeah, you probably might have to when Shiba goes up. But again, Shiba is going to go up so much higher, so much further, so much faster than XRP that you're just going to have to pay the price, because trust me, when XRP finally starts to do what it's designed to do, he'll get over it real fast, especially since you're going from Shiba possibly to XLM, add more cream to that, and then finally buying it. You'll get over it. You'll be just fine, trust me. There's still a lot of growth left ahead. So even if it goes to all-time high, which is $3 and some change or right around there. That's just the cost of welcome to investing. You know, you can't get it all your way. It's not Burger King. You can't have it your way. So you just gotta get what's served to you. You gotta play the cards that are dealt. But nonetheless, I'm simply telling you that right now, basically, we look like we're establishing a newer plateau. You know, and basically, I don't see any reason why we should be going down to these bottoms. We're just not unless we're going to get into some sort of catastrophic, you know, rug pull or something like that. VJ does have a call from October 7th. We came pretty damn close to 50%. You know, don't rule it out, but yeah, you know, my feeling on that is it would have to be something really, really huge to bring all this down. And you just never rule that out. But I'm not looking for that to happen until after December, or I'm sorry, after Christmas. You know, just I hate to do theory because it's just a waste of everybody's time, but or just use some what ifs. But I am expecting that window we were looking at in October. I was expecting a crash. That window closed. So as I've explained before, if that window closes and we didn't dive through it, then the next window just magnifies the possibility. And our next window is between Christmas and the end of the year, or possibly the first half or the first month of January. So, you know, we get into post Christmas, we'll say, and XRP is not settled, which it's looking like it's not going to settle. It could get drugged down into the shitstorm when everything goes down. Great for us because we'll be sitting beside on the sidelines holding our Shiba profits. So do not rule out a dollar XRP. It could very well happen, and sub-dollar. You know, we might get down even lower, but we'll talk about that when we get into that. Reality gets to be more and more real. But right now, just watch it because it's irrelevant what the price is. Because until we get step one done, this could do whatever the hell it wants to do. Because at the end of the day, we're gonna evaluate that deck of cards when they get shuffled and dealt out. So, and I'm not jumping in and out of XRP, and I don't advise anyone else does, because you know how it is. It's like it's if you're stupid enough to jump out, you might find yourself locked out. So that paranoia is real. Let me put you on hold for just a second, guys. I gotta visit the other room here, and I will be right back in just a second. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at Reef here real quick. So Reef has had, again, it's had a level up. I'm not going to rule out the idea that this might possibly drop back down to within the purple channel. In fact, I believe that to be a strong degree of likelihood here, although it is walking up rather methodically. If we have a little bit of bad news, it'll definitely put it down here. But I think the idea that we're going to capitulate and go way down here couldn't happen pre-Christmas. So sorry if you're hearing noise in my headphone here. My insane neighbor is mowing his lawn in the dark. He's outside my window. I don't think he gets along well with his wife. He seems to be mowing his yard 4 times a week. That's usually a dead giveaway. He's out there with a flashlight and a riding lawnmower mowing his lawn. All right, so Matic has given us a gift here. We're very clearly that needs to be kind of brought in line there with that. So basically, that's a hit. So we are pinging off that. So we're going to go a little bit lower. Yeah, I think we kind of are. I would be probably not surprised to see an ultimate level of a little bit lower. So Matic hang on just a second. Yeah, to be visiting that earlier discussion. Looking for the sprinters. Matic is a sprinter. It's a volatile sprinter, and it's short. We're talking like real short sprints, like just wind sprints. When it does well, it does really well. It's one of those that you're not going to get hung with and go, Christ, is this thing ever going to come out of the dumper? Because it just doesn't work that way. You're looking at 17%, 18% right there. You're looking at last time. You're looking at damn near 45% right there. I mean, fabulous returns inside of hardly anything. You're looking at how many days is that? Less than a week. 4 days, 4.5 days, 4.5 days. So this is an exemplary example here, but I mean, look, it's not uncommon to see these ridiculous boosts and stuff like that. So capitalize on it. So again, going back to talking about when I was a hater on this, I said it's bullshit. I don't like it. Now I love the crap out of it. Who wouldn't love this thing? Every time you step to batch, you get a return. You get double digits returns if you buy right. So right now, currently, I'm telling you where your buying opportunity starts right there. Not saying you couldn't buy right now, but obviously you can see we're trending down, and we are below. I'm feeling very schooly right now. Let me give you another one. So you new investors here. I'm trying to teach you guys, because basically if I can teach you guys will be impressed that I know what I'm talking about. You'll be able to use this stuff, and you'll become a fan. And that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to kind of grow a group of people that can support my fragile ego. So let's assume that this is our 200 EMA, right? So let's make this blue so we keep our terminology correct here. All right, so our 200 EMA. Let's say we've got our 200 EMA here. Anytime you are moving away from you're going along and you're moving away from your 200 EMA, understand that this 200 EMA for me, with it as it applies to this grid, is another one of those indicators that tell me, am I doing something stupid or am I doing something smart? Let's go back and look at the intelligence of watching this. We have a general. I have a rule that generally I don't like it when we wander more than 15% away from the 200 EMA. And this is on the 15-minute chart. It does differ for different legs of charts. But when you're talking about I'll do Decentraland. When you're talking about larger time frames, then that rule changes. But when you're talking about 15-minute, you don't want to wander more than 15% away, because if you do I sell posters? I probably should. If you wander away from that more than 15%, it's only a matter of time before we snap back. I don't start getting worried. So in other words, if you're looking at a position like, man, that could go up a little bit, and we're like 12% away, don't think I would, generally speaking. But hey, we're 3% above the 200 EMA. This is looking very bullish. Yeah, you probably stand a chance, because it's just another one of those things. You got to take a lot of the indicators together. You got to look and say, how far away from home are we wandering? Because Mama doesn't like it when we go out, when we're gone after midnight. We want to, when the street light comes on, you have to get back home. Again, another old guy reference. Sorry, you young people have no idea what I'm talking about. But anyway, if you get too far away, so let's take a look at the here and the now. From there to the tip of it, we're 5%. Can we go further? I'm not suggesting we can't go, 40, 50, 60% away from the EMA, but it doesn't happen very long and before it snaps back. Let's go back and look at this, and I'll show you examples. So from right here to right here, we wandered away. Less than 15%. Snap, we came back. Usually what ends up happening with this is you oscillate. You go down, you go above, and then down, and you whipsaw back and forth. But you always center around the median. Now the 200 EMA moves, it's an organic thing. It moves up and down to meet the line. The line meets it, it meets the line. So you can see how it's moving. It's a 200 moving average again. But the thing is like, when you deviate too far from the normal, you have to come back to home base. But take a look at this, you can see You know, we whipsaw back and forth, above and beyond. And Matic is probably one of the best examples of that. You can see we went up and we held ground for a little while, so the line came up to it. But again, at the end of the day, boom, we're coming down. We came down, we went under, we went up, and again, we whipsaw. So we are always constantly following along that 200 EMA. So here's what I'm saying. This is another one of those little pocket plays that you can watch. Anytime we are wandering away from home base, and we see things where we see support and resistance, and we see ISIS lines and Anubis lines and you know, lions and tigers and bears on mine. We look at this stuff and we go, wow, this is really shaping up to kind of hit and tap off of this. Should I buy it? Well, look at this. What did I just tell you? What's going to happen with this? Do you think this is going to go down lower? Well, it could, but do you think the statistical average or statistical possibility that we're going to go back to home base is great? It's been demonstrated again and again. So, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So look at it this way. If we wander down from here, let's just keep it right at the current level. We wander from here to here, that's 8%. We do return, but if we wander down to the dual AI line at 12.5%, the longer we stay underneath this 200, the stronger, the sharper, the juicier that buy becomes. So if you see something that, you know, so we have to start figuring out, you know, where our supports and resistances are. We've got a dual AI line, very magnetic. We've got an ISIS line, or I'm sorry, we've got an Anubis prediction right here. We've already hit it, so that one's been pinged. We've got support and resistance right here that I'm telling you about. So the question I'm sure you guys are all asking, what would I do what would I do if I were buying on this? I would look at the general market and I would say, okay, well, what is the market doing right now? Because Matic does follow the market, it just does it in wild deviations thereof. So specifically, Matic is bullish; it's going up. So let's look at it. What's the worst that can happen? It's always the first thing I do coming in the door. I look at it and say, okay, the worst that can happen is I buy it, I was wrong, I have to wait. Much like Shiba, I buy it, I'll wait, it'll come around. It will, you know, trains come around the station more than once. It'll come, another train will come around, I'll ride this thing to glory, it'll be fine. I'll just be out of the game for a while. Short term, I'm going to make some money on this, so that's always the objective. But we're coming in with we're coming in with the mentality that we're not buying hope, we're buying odds. We're investing in odds, and so the odds are for me is I see a downturn happening. So we've had a couple of I have to kind of expand my thinking here. So what we've got here across the top is we've got lower highs. So let's look at this. We've got lower highs here. And let's assume that eventually that trend is going to just kind of go that direction. So we'll just kind of put a pin in that thought for a second. So if we were to kind of look at this as, well, let's just do that. If we were to look at this as being, all right, maybe we're working our way into some gigantic damn triangle. Can you see where I might be able to think that? We've got support and resistance right across the bottom right here. We have this is that looking for trends. So if we were to draw an imaginary line right there, you could see just a big old stinking triangle here. So inside of the triangle, do we have any profit potential that we can make? Certainly. So would I buy? Yes, I would buy right there. I might even do a second what the hell buy right there, because it might wick out. But let's leave wicks out of the discussion for right now. Solidly put that right there as a possible buy, because what could very well happen is we might work our way into this business right here. It's looking like that's the narrative already. It already looks like it's a narrative based upon the support and resistance that we have right there carrying forward. So let's go back and get some of that out here. So if we're to believe that this is the base, if we're wrong and it falls out of bed and goes down, then wait it out, because we're probably not going to be down for very long. This is a bull market after all. But if we're right, where should we be grabbing the chute and jumping out? All right. Well, we're going to want to probably let's go ahead and really honestly take that and make it a legit line, and let's see if I'm right. Yeah, I have to get. Sometimes I got too much trash on the screen here. I can't always get to my proper line to delete it. All right, there we go. So let's go ahead and put in a legitimate trend line. That's a big one. All right, so we have a couple of trend lines here. I want to try to touch as many. Okay, so I have the possibility of touching here here, or here. I like here. Let me get all the way in here so you guys can see what I'm doing. So I gotta always try to remember you guys are on the phone, so you can't always see. I've got a gigantic 36-inch monitor. Okay, I could draw my trend line from here across top of this. I could draw it across the top of this, but that's not as good. I like here because I got more touch offs. I got one here, and one here. So that tells me that we definitely have a trend from point through here. These are just anomalies that are above. So you got to be able to differentiate the difference between a touch off and a wick outside of the mean. So the mean is right here, 1, 2, 3, actually probably about 4. So what we want to do is we want to lower that just a little bit more because we haven't quite got right on there. I'm sorry, I'm way out here. So let's get in here. All right, so we're touching off basically right here, 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 and here. All right, so that being said, there's our official triangle. So if I want to go back and do this a little bit differently, just so you guys are on the smaller screens can see this, I'll just go ahead and highlight it very clearly. Very clearly is our zone. All right, now you all can see that. We'll just go with that for right now. All right. Okay, so that being said, this is our area of investment opportunity. So if we're looking at this and we're saying, all right, so if I want to grab at the bottom and I want to buy, let's see, what's the best that we could do? If we just went down and just ridiculously bounced back up, we could be looking at like 11.5%. Not likely. So we're probably going to be down here somewhere more like this, probably at the halfway point, because when we go down through this, we're going to come up on support and resistance. So we're looking at probably about a 6 to 7% easy snag of profit. So now you smaller guys, don't be stupid to do this with $500. You guys are working 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. I'm not going to tell you not to do this because I think it's a smart play. Because when you're at scale, is what I say. At scale means you got a buttload of money. When you're at scale, it doesn't take that much to realize a huge profit. So, you know, say for example, you got 100,000. Would you own $100,000 worth of Matic? Yeah, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Matic's a damn good, strong coin. It's important. It's related to the new future, the new future of the internet. So and money in general. So Matic is not a bad buy in and of itself. So we're simply discussing within that ecosphere where's the best place to be buying in. That being said, if you had 100,000 in Matic and this thing went up 7%, damn, you just pocketed some serious coin, Jack. So anyway, these smaller guys, anything below 5,000 might be a little thin for you to want to be playing this game. But nonetheless, if you got in right here, and I'm not suggesting you have to sell out here either, because what I'm just telling you is inside of this play, you have an easy scalp right at this purple of about 7%. So scalp, sell, go back and grab again. So let me show you 3 plays out with this, how this should work. I'm not suggesting that it will. I'm just telling you how I expect this to work. It should go down. It should come up to minimum here, to which I would sell at that point in time. And it might go a little higher, don't know, but let's assume that it goes to here. So there's a second sell option if you're really like a super degenerate gambler, which is possible because we've got support and resistance right in that general area right there. So that's going to be where it's going to happen. So the best case scenario you got is probably from here to here, which is, let's call that about 11. Let's go ahead and make it 12%. 12% is probably about as good as it's going to get inside of this formation. And so you sell. So you just yank 12% off the table. Now, if that happens, let's say we take another dip down, we go into this right here, and then eventually we might get forced into a point where anytime we go above some thing, we become support. Anytime we go below, it becomes resistance. So we might be forced into a support and resistance pinch right here, where it breaks out from this point. Highly likely. So you might consider, so you got 3 plays, one right here, one right there, one right there. So if you buy in, this by no means in this scenario is a bad scenario. You make some good money, some halfway decent money, you wait it out, you might make some pretty kick-ass money at this point in time. It's all on you to decide which way you want to go. Now, that's the bullish scenario. Let me give you the bearish scenario. So let me go back a little bit further here. So we go from here, which I still think is a very bullish move to do, and we do this, and we bounce like this, and we just meander. Now you probably should still be considering selling in this scenario, but let's say we do this. Now we're going to get into something that's really going to get kind of scary. I don't see this happening because the whole market is heading towards a bullish move. But anytime, you guys have seen this, anytime we come out of a triangle, and again, this very well could be a triangle too, but it's not likely. You know, we could be in a smaller triangle that we're already breaking out of, but that's another discussion. Anytime we break out of a triangle, we sometimes get one of those. Now, one of those is a J-hook that you guys are just so prone to always looking for all the time. A J-hook is very easily defined by this distance from here cut in half. So what we're looking for is a velocity of this right here, this amount, from there to there. All right. So if we're taking that and we're setting that at the point, I didn't put that in there exactly right. Hang on just a second. All right. So half of that is, this is the depth of the J-hook if we come out of that. So if we come out of that roughly basically right about there, that's about the depth of how far it should psych everybody out down before it turns and goes up. That's just strictly textbook and strictly what it's been in the past. So, you know, rules are meant to be broken and screwed with. That's what the exchanges do. That's why they get so much money. However, you can go back and you can verify, is there any validity to this level? And absolutely there is, because you can see massive support and resistance right at that very same level. All right. All right. So, long story short, now that I've gone down that road, would I buy at this? Yes. If it goes down, I'll watch it go all the way down here, knowing that we're in a bullish market. So this is a Hail Mary buy based on probabilities. Probabilities are excellent that it'll turn at this point in time. Probabilities are somewhat less, 20%, that we continue to go on through to this area right there. Probably anywhere from 15 to 20%. You have better than 80% odds. I'm just making these numbers up, but that degree of strength and feeling that we're going to hit here, and we're going to do a quickie buy or a quickie buy sell. So my money would be right here, selling right here. I don't like to look too many moves. If I see profit, I'm taking it. You know, but I'm working at scale. You guys are, you know, maybe working with less. You know, your mileage may vary, so to speak. So there's that. So I want to kind of, this is kind of a quickie scalp that can be played today. So just watch that happen. So what somebody was saying, Algo versus Matic. I would go with Matic. Astroverse, I knew you were out there. I was deep mind probing you. No, I know a lot of you guys are like that. Should you? And I'll tell you why. I think you already know why. $500 isn't going to get you anything. You know, it's not even worth bending over to pick up. Sad to say, you basically just need to find something. You know, put it in Shiba and just wait it out. You know, when it's right to buy Shiba, because you can't do much damage with $500. You can't really do much damage with to be honest, $5,000. If you're trying to turn 5,000 into $1 million, man, you got a long, hard road. You know, if you're trying to turn $500,000 into $1 million, yeah, it's an afternoon. You know what I mean? It just is. That's why the rich get richer. You know. And so basically that's the truth of the matter. So Matic, as volatile as it is, you know, in order to capitalize on that validity, you have to have, or that volatility, you have to have scale. You have to have a certain amount of money to be able to realize the potential, because what's going to wipe out that $500 is fees. Fees are just going to chew up any profit. You know, and really, honestly, if we're talking 12% returns, 12% of $500 is what? Nothing. You know, after you take out fees, what do you got? A Snickers. So you know what I'm saying. So it's not worth doing. That's what I'm saying. But if you're buying something like a Shiba and that thing goes 100x, now you're talking. All right. I'll go back and look at a few things here real quick. Yeah, so we're above the line now, guys. This thing's not messing around. Not messing around. So, hold on just a second here. Yeah, I think you might be psyched. Okay, here this is why all these lines are just all over. I know it looks like I'm throwing spaghetti at the screen, but again, if some of you guys that are let me give you a little something here to take away from this experience. Hold on just a sec. I got to find it in my Discord. All right, so this is literally what's going on behind the scenes. If you can wrap your mind around that, say, I can think on those levels. This is why I talk so fast. So if your mind is capable of conceiving what you're looking at, then you can kind of look behind the green curtain and see, or the emerald curtain, and see what's going on. That makes perfect sense to me. It's very hard to explain that to the layman, what you're looking at, but that's the interconnectivity and the interactivity between each and every one of those touch-off points, and that's what Isis and Anubis do, is they calculate stuff like that. This is done by one of our other members in our Discord group called Bearded Duck. He comes at it by a different way, but that's what I'm seeing in my mind when I'm looking at this stuff. And so it's hard when I'm making these lines all over the place. It gets rather deep. That's probably one of his tamer charts, to be honest. I mean, some of them just get absolutely ludicrous. You know, hold on a second. You know, if you really want to get nasty, you know, that's basically what you're working with right there. So, but the degree of math and the degree of trigonometry and calculus and whatever all else that's embedded within these AI charts is that's what's going on behind the brain. So trying to figure that shit out is like, just don't, because you'll get brain cramps. So here's what I'm telling you: is now I've shown you this chart, I've shown you this trend line up, which we all can agree we were respecting till moments ago. I'm showing you a trend line down now. So now what we've got is we've got this. And so basically this is where the action's at right now. And that, as you can see based upon what I just showed you, this is why I'm prone to seeing these little shapes and how they interact, because it's just part of a bigger narrative. So getting into that. So where I expect to be heading for the next 18 hours. No, that can be right. Hold on. Well, it says 16 hours. That seems a bit long to me. But all right. So here's what's likely to happen. So we are probably inside of a pinch point. So we got a ceiling right here. We have a floor right here. So that little tape I just pulled there says 18 hours. So get ready for a whole lot of nothing. What I expect to have happen, because by the time we get reasonably down the line in this chart, everything's going to be kicking off. It's dragging XYO with it. So what I expect to probably have happen is it might ping pong along for a few days, and then we get to a certain point where we hit a pulse marker, which is right there, and booyah, she takes off again. So, you know, and not necessarily making a call here, but within the next, how did that go from, hang on a second here, what just happened? Oh, I'm sorry, this is, my glasses are fogged. 18 hours, there we go, that makes more sense. So the next 18 hours, you're liable to kind of be working inside of this pennant. I think it's more like the next 9 hours. The next 9 hours will put you to midday, well, first thing in the morning, China time. So China will be having their say-so about this. Let me kind of show you, so let's make the assumption that this is truth here. Let me show you a new trend that would be forming through that right there. Hold on a second, I got to reevaluate this just a little bit more. There we go, that's what I was looking for. All right, So there's a potential we could drop down to the bottom of this, but there's also a potential we could shoot up to the halfway point of this. So that's pretty much the next move that's happening, is we're staying inside of this channel. So we've got, again, another triangle we would be working out. It's triangles inside of triangles. It gets to be mind-boggling thinking like this. But in the here and the now, that's the action that's got to happen. But I think from that, I think we're probably going to be seeing something bullish out of it. So XYL story is not over. Party is not over necessarily. And even if it does take a dip to the bottom of this channel, I wouldn't freak out about it because we got a lot of support right here. So even if it went down, you know, I would see that kind of going up like that, being like a J-hook. I'll leave that in here for right now. All right, so let's see what else. I do want to mention, well, yeah, I do want to mention Crypto.com. What the hell's going on with this? Well, they've got a deal where basically they're rolling out a card where you can start spending your crypto off of Visa card. So you tell me why this is going up. Of course it is. That's obvious. I knew nothing about that, so I'm not going to bullshit you and tell you I saw this coming. However, I do want to. This is kind of another thing. We've talked about this in the past. Some of you guys have been around for a couple of years listening to me. It's when you understand how the world works, it becomes rather amusing when you see the correlation of news to things that you saw coming anyway. The news just comes along to support the narrative that was already there. It's I can't even get into that. It's well beyond most of you guys' pay grade, but the world doesn't work the way you think it works. Let's just say that. Because if let me give you a good example. This is a sleeper. I think I've established a sleeper now. A sleeper, there's the hiccup right there. So what do you think comes after a hiccup? Boom. Okay. So if all the things I've shown you are true, then how can you account for this? Well, you can look at it organically and say it's a sleeper and it just woke up running. Yep. Now, there's been some recent news that just came out. Crypto.com is coming out with a card, has come out, or is coming out, or has already come out with a card where you can spend your XRP or your Bitcoin or whatever, and you don't have to screw with banks anymore. So what does that got to do with any of this? Not a damn thing. This was already baked into the cake. They knew this was coming. This was coming long ago. This was written in the stars. All of a sudden now, so this is how the world works. The narratives that you hear, this is why I see this constantly, and I'm oftentimes drawn into it too, but then I get a reality check and I back away. The news means nothing, guys. I know that'll really shatter a few people, but the news means nothing because this stuff is manipulated long ago. My charts wouldn't work if that were not the truth, because my charts do not plot news. They plot statistical averages, graphs moving, and moving averages, and that's something that's just been proven time and time again to work. So so if we're seeing sleepers wake up running, what has this got to do? Why is Populous doing it? Because Crypto.com rolled out a card? No, because this is the way this works. They have certain formations that they use, and if the news happens to coincide, which oftentimes it does, or oh my God, Elon Musk said this, or oh my God, Elon Musk tweeted that, great. But to a point, that might have a little bit to do with it. But the broader move, that's here because they want it here. So just understand that. The best weapon you have against foolishness is to catch these things between the manipulation down when it should go up or up when it should go down, and basically use good tools that can kind of forecast that stuff, and that's what our charts do. But don't be suckered into thinking that this news has much to do. Occasionally, it's a little bit whales, it's a little bit news, but mostly it's pre-programming where I've explained this several times before, where they'll be like, okay, January we want to be here, February we want to be here, March we want to be here, April, and then May let's take it down to here. And so basically what they're doing is they're sitting down and they're creating battle plans where they say, I want certain things to happen, and what they will do, they being the evil bankers or people that run the exchanges and run the world and whatever, are saying, all right, well, on a certain day, this is what the pulse markers do, on a certain day we want it to be right here. So okay, well we'll let the little guys play with it for a while and say they do stuff and they run it like that. Okay, well hey, we need it to be up here. It's check time. They run it up here, and then we'll let them play with it for a little while. All right, well they'd like that. They went and they got really crazy. Oh my God, we're not gonna have that. We need to be down here. So this is how it works: is they just go from checkpoint to checkpoint, making sure that things are where they need to be at a certain point in time, and that's how you get these things that go like this. And when you understand that, and by the way, those coincide with the AI lines and stuff, and so that's the way the world really works. So news has nothing to do with it, not a thing, very little. It's the only time when news has anything to do with anything is when they might let go of the clutch. As I'm fond of saying, they might let go of the clutch a little bit and let things run between points. But you can very clearly see where they wanted this to be, where they wanted it to be at all points in the game. And what's going on between is just largely what's being allowed to have happen. All right, guys, so that's it for me here. It is 6:30. I need to get something to eat because I've been outside all day. Thank you very much for spending some time with me. Again, my name is Red Baron. I'm with the unfairadvantage.chat. Would love to have you join our group. And if you guys would like to join our stuff, if you'd like to join FibbyCharts.com and take advantage of these charts that I've been talking about for all this broadcast and many, many more, we'd love to have you be a subscriber and let me really show you something in VIP. So if you guys are really wanting a system you can believe in, filled with people that are in a chat room that are not going to trash talk, that really do enjoy crypto, a responsible adult group of people, not a bunch of spammers, not a bunch of skateboard kids and stuff like that. If that's what you've been searching for, you found a home. We'd love to have you join us at the unfairadvantage.chat. So until next broadcast, I'm going to probably check in maybe tomorrow, but if you don't hear from me on live stream, on public live stream, you'll hear from me again here probably come about next Monday. So be sure to join me in Vegas at the Luxor Hotel on Saturday the 13th. In by the checkout area, I'll be within, and along with Psychic Veronica Jane and some of my mods. And until then, be safe, be good, and be good at it. Peace and hair grease, baby.